think there were multiple patsies depending on where you are. In other words, Thomas Arthur Valley is a patsy in Chicago. If the plot was able to go, we never would have heard of Oswald the rest of our lives if Thomas Arthur Valley was able to get off a shot and Kennedy was not turned back from the Soldier Field appearance. This would have been the guy that movies were made about. Yeah. It could have been in Tampa. Would have been the Cuban in Tampa.
Policarpo Lopez, yeah.
Right. It would have been Lopez. In other words, depending on what city you're in, instead of moving them from city to city, thereby leaving a paper trail, they had patsies in various cities, which people, this is Lopez, people don't understand that they had guys in each city. This sounds too complicated for people, but the alternative is to expose your particular patsy as a stalker, thereby bringing eyes onto your case.
So what do you think? I have my thoughts on this, but what do you think Oswald thinks his mission is when he's asked to go down to New Orleans to start a Fair Play for Cuba committee?
I mean,
which one?
He has multiple missions.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, Guy Bannister sends him into Tulane University to infiltrate as a student to find out who was pro-Castro within Tulane University. He takes LSD at an acid party with the students, and that was an assignment. You know, these assignments came and went, Paul. They were buttoned up, and then you move on to the next thing. Passing out flyers, stamping them with Fair Play for Cuba committee. You know, I think he probably had 25 different assignments at the time, the time he was in New Orleans.
Okay, but do we agree that
T7 is coming out and the war and
let's call them global missions going on for in his head.
The war is coming too.
In his head.
You want to scoot down a little bit?
Mission 1 is
so I can see your face.
For Guy Bannister and
all right, give him the update on Terminator.
You know, 4.
Well, yeah, his first name, he's getting old.
Communist names.
Yeah.
People at
yeah, that's true. Yes.
He's getting a little older. He still looks good.
Yeah, he is. Yes.
You look good too. Look at this nice shirt.
Right. That's an obvious.
That's an obvious.
Yeah, nice fresh shirt. We love it. Your hair looks good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that hairdo, man.
Yep.
You see
how you like being in DC?
Like, this is
well, it's pretty.
Kennedy,
This is okay a while.
Well, you got to meet your what's he called?
They want
wait. Washington D.C. from our movie filming called True Lies.
Yeah,
right. No, I mean that's another one.
His heart getting tired in the movie, and you follow the bad guy fill up the roof and try to catch him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and
so
T7 in the war.
Communist names through his Fair Play for Cuba. You have an Oswald.
It's kind of Skynet.
Skynet.
Yeah, same town it was. Future War.
Yeah, those are good movies.
So
it's very good. Yes.
True Lies.
Yep.
It's a good one.
The guy who's running.
So
his handler.
So who did you meet when you got here?
After 3 hours.
I mean, his son again.
Cannon, yeah.
Cannon boy.
Because what's your name to him?
I'm still uncle to him.
Your Uncle Joey.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think about your new nephew?
Here's what I know about the cat.
Cute, but it's kind of like a gerbil.
Let me ask you this. Can you blame the FBI?
It looks like a gerbil?
Like hamster.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, so Jiga made you some of these. What do you think about this one? Here, let's show these right here.
Pop it up.
All right.
I love that.
You like this one?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
I am still supposed to.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool, huh?
That's really, yeah.
Only sometimes, not all the time.
That's really,
yeah, only sometimes. Because sometimes we like Joey too.
Okay.
Yeah, call me on every time you want, my friends.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, so that's that one. Let me show you another one.
Okay.
What about?
Oh my God! Yes, I like that one.
Heck yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
You put it on the TV. Mommy want to see it.
Yeah. Well, we can share them. We'll save these.
Yeah.
We got a couple more. How about this one?
That's a good one.
You like it?
That's cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Jiga made these. A lot of your fans out here are making them for you.
Thank you, Gene.
Jiga in the house.
Jiga. Thank you.
Yeah, she
so
did.
Much.
She did a good job on these, huh?
You have to explain.
And then I
Yeah.
think we got
Commando.
Oh yeah, you like the Commando?
Commando.
The Texas School Book.
Commando one. Here,
Right,
let's pull
right,
this
it's a
one up.
mess.
Yeah.
And we let him.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bad on us.
And then let's see what this
can't
one
explain
is.
Right. So what
Pull
I'm
this
saying
one
is,
up.
I don't blame them for trying.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. We're talking about the machine.
Nice.
It's just
Also
sometimes
amazing.
they get
Commando.
ham-fisted.
And
at
how about
they did it,
this one?
Posty told
Oh my
us
God,
what's the
yes.
notes
Pretty
down
cool,
with the
huh?
toilet.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
well,
true.
what choice
Yeah,
do we
man.
have?
Don't forget
No.
Terminator
So
7
you
and
meet
then
the
the war
guy and his
picture.
wife,
Yeah, is it
get
really
rid of
coming
him.
out? Terminator 7?
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. They'll find the war too for
I
that.
talked
Man, I'm
to
excited
spoken
for
to a
that.
few people, and
What's your favorite Terminator?
what they claim is that
I like
perpetrators
T1,
knowingly made
T7.
some of these
T1 and
connections
T7?
between
One,
Oswald
one, two,
and the
two,
FBI,
7.
and
What about
they
T2?
knew that he'd become
That's
close
okay
to
to while too.
I think that's my
Other
favorite
words,
one
they
with the
knew
T1000, the liquid
that in
liquid
this
metal guy.
fancy
No, he's a bad guy because
investigation,
he wants to John
whether it's
Connor
other
in the movie or
parts of the
something.
CIA,
Well, he was a
Yeah.
bad guy,
whether
yeah.
it's customs,
Yeah.
whether it's the FBI.
Good
with
stuff. Well, man, everybody's so
Stalin's
excited to
staff,
see you. They're saying, "What's
simply
up, Joey? We
because
love
even the
you."
Secret Service, because it's
And they
linked.
like your photos.
Nice.
They like your movie
I have to say
reviews.
that-
Well,
That's
I mean,
cool.
sometimes
Pretty
you can
cool.
burn a guy
Hey,
out. In other words,
Don't
here's a
forget
guy who's
T7
publicly
and
confessed
the
to
war
something.
picture.
Yeah.
T7.
Okay, so
Yeah,
he's
yeah, I'm
in
sending
the
to him on
news
his
to
phone.
begin
All right,
with.
yeah, I'm sure.
Now
I'm
you're
sure
bringing him back
they can
and
work
you're
on
putting
that.
him in New Orleans, which is a den
They're
of
pretty
thieves,
Yeah,
a
that's good.
Casablanca, so to
Well, what
speak.
else is going on?
He's
Is it dinner time?
infiltrating Tulane.
Yeah,
He's
but now,
infiltrating the
yeah.
customs.
He
At
gotta
some
go. You
point,
need to wrap it up.
you may
Okay, I gotta
use
wrap it
him
up.
too
It's dinner
much,
time?
Eric.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right. I'm
thereby
just waiting right now.
exposing him
All
to
right, man.
where
Well,
the
thank you for coming down and
And
saying
if
hi to
it
everybody.
comes, I hate
Always,
to say,
I'll be
expendable.
back and awesome Fiesta, baby.
Yeah,
Nice.
Call me
I buy your
towards an
take
8.
on it.
All right.
All right, thank you, guys.
You're the man.
Thanks, Bob FC.
Love you, brother.
You see,
All right, so
let's
that
go back to
is
the last
Joey
one,
G,
is the
aka
people behind
Arnold
it.
Terminator, in the house. And he
Yeah,
loved those,
look at
friends.
this.
Thank you for
Say
making those,
people.
Jigam. Thank you, Ultra
These are
special
really
shout out.
experts.
You crushed it on all these. These
They
were
are
amazing.
people
So we'll save
involved
those,
in
send them to
the,
him, and he'll be excited for quite a long time. So awesome to do that.
they had
Joey in the house.
Because
That's my
all
brother
these-
Joey, and he got to meet
all these bumps
his nephew, and so they're having fun up there.
exchanges with Cuban
So thank you,
enterprise
friends.
and
He loves
Ruby.
his fans, and
It's
you're
all
amazing.
from that intelligence network, right? So when you look at that, you have enough traces now, I think. And I go back to the work Dave Boylan did on the org charts. Is you can now see who's behind this stuff. And I go back to that Emilio Rodriguez being connected to Ernesto Rodriguez,
Yeah.
who says to Oswald, go and meet Bringuier. Okay, and then you have Joranides right besides telling Bringuier, here's your money, here's your cash, and he's working with Bringuier. So the I think the beauty of what's happened lately, and you know, Jim's book you talked about, Destiny Betrayed, great book.
Great book.
Great
Fantastic book.
great book.
Yeah.
But I've been having chats with Jim, and I said, Jim, I think now you can see the Mongoose link, or the guys who are doing Mongoose. Okay, you can see now the JM Wave link to everything you wrote about in Destiny Betrayed. The whole JM Wave link there, whether it's Oswald trying to go into the camps, who's running the camps? It's JM Wave. Who's running Bringuier? It's JM Wave. Who's running Ernesto Rodriguez? It's JM Wave. So, you know, I always felt, Mark, that you had, you know, the Garrison disciples, that's Jim, Joan Mellon, William Davey, Melanson. They all wrote about, you know, New Orleans. And then you had the Gaetan Fonzie disciples. That's Larry Hancock. And they get into the whole JM Wave side. John Newman.
Morley too, right?
Morley and another guy, Dave Boylan. I said, well, what's
And
the
Boylan,
connection?
yeah.
What's the connection? Can we connect the two universes there? Like, this isn't happening in a vacuum on one side and something else. They got to be connected. And we're finding the conduits between the two in the form of Joanides, in the form of the Rodriguez brothers. Another guy, Kent, who called Oswald useful idiot. Well, he was very involved in New Orleans. And there's
Right.
another
What I'm saying is, by Oswald coincidentally being involved in 72 different little mini operations,
yeah,
it's muddied the waters for all the investigators who are looking for a straight through line. There is no straight through line because he worked various missions. That's why it's so confusing to the investigators.
Was he almost like a contract worker? And I'm not trying to downplay it, but like a lower level guy, and you have him do this op, and then you just have him do this op, and then this op, kind of like a fill in, wherever you need.
He's not filling in. There's guys like him doing that. It's not a fill in. He's one of the guys who does multiple missions. In other words, you can't take a 42-year-old guy who's a friend of Guy Bannister's and say, I want you to infiltrate Tulane. But you can take a 23-year-old Oswald who looks like he's a teen, Paul, and say, I want you to infiltrate Tulane University. So it depends where that guy could fit into the jigsaw puzzle of what you need. Bannister laughing about the flyers being passed out to his secretary, who he's having sex with, saying he's one of us, he's doing it for us for $25 a day, is another separate mini mission.
So your question, Eric, is really important, because I spent a lot of time saying, okay, wait a minute. Let's try and understand the CIA jargon here, right? CIA jargon is what's an asset, right? What's an employee? What's an employee who's TDY? Okay, TDY is temporary duty. So you can take David Atlee Phillips, he's with the Western Hemisphere, but he pops up in JM Wave. He's an employee, TDY. An asset is a guy that you hire from time to time, like Clay Shaw, like QJ Wynn, like Johnny Rosselli was one. Okay. Now, what was Oswald? So you have your important assets, like people who are in the press, people who are whatever, who can feed you information, who can do things with you.
It's a huge network of people. There's medical people, there's mathematic people, there's business people. I mean, it's all walks of life, Paul.
So Oswald is an asset.
Yeah.
But he's a useful idiot asset. In other words, he's on the low end of the totem pole. I mean, it's not James Bond, right, who's going to go out handing out fair play for Cuba committee.
Well, he's early in his career. I mean, he's really a low-level person. He's what?
If you add 20 years onto him, Paul,
you've got to do everything.
But it gets worse
because he could have been David Atlee Phillips in 20 years.
Yeah. Yes. But it gets worse for him, because when he comes back from Russia and he's married to a Russian, I mean, what kind of asset can you be? I mean, you're married to a Russian woman. So now what? Oh,
which is why. What is he trying to do, Paul? Get back to the Soviet Union. That's why he's trying to go back to Russia. Not because he likes the way it looks or the food. He wants to go back to continue what he did when he went to Minsk.
Yeah, I think that he there's some things saying, well, he may have been told, hey, we have a mission for you in Cuba or in Russia. And but look, the thing is that he's a useless. I mean, he's not useless. What kind of missions can you give now to a guy who's compromised by the fact that his wife is Russian?
No, fair play for Cuba if you're trying.
Yeah, they obviously.
It's like, hey, you got communist 101. This guy's a hero to you. He could go in and read all the commies.
They just paint him red and let him do red shit.
Do you think though that the Americans
need guys
would
like
actually
him?
trust
You need guys like him.
Yeah, so they don't like if he's really got the profile for the perfect
right.
guy.
But what he would have done later, he would have infiltrated SDS, Tom Hayden's organization. He would have infiltrated the Weather Underground, that organization. If he had lived and his career arc would have continued, he would have been able to infiltrate as a phony painted red leftist all these areas that needed infiltration.
He could have led those organizations.
Of course,
like literally.
Of course.
Like, he could have been like Gloria Steinem.
He had it. I mean, that's why
feminists.
the radio debate with Bringuier was so important, to show his Marxist bona fides as a public figure. And as Eric pointed out, he's only 22. He's got 20 years to go, 10 years to go of this stuff.
Let me prove your point even further. So, key organization that I studied was the Fair Play for Cuba Committee. And in 1963, it was in its death spiral. They had 2 national meetings that year, whereas they would normally have something like 20 or 25. They were running out of money. And the FBI's own data on it says that it was so highly infiltrated, often by Marine types. Okay, so you go to a meeting in Tampa, say you'd have a dozen people, 4 or 5 of them would be informants. So doesn't that give you a little bit of a hint that Oswald is one of these informants, just like Thomas Vicente? Thomas Vicente, the guy who sent him all the literature out of New York, was an informant.
Well, we don't know who's who, whether there's legit guys, and
but he
because it's infiltrated, we don't know, who's on what side.
But Vicente was a known. I mean, it's come out that he was an informant.
Oh, okay, all right. I'll accept that.
Thomas Vicente is an informant.
Right.
He's the guy who sends the now. What does he do? Some 7 or 8 months before the assassination, is he goes to Cuba through the Mexican embassy. Okay, through Mexico. And it's documented that to go there to spy, and he meets Castro and some of Castro's top people. And who helps him go there? Anita Pataki. Anita Pataki helps Thomas Vicente go to frickin' Cuba. Okay.
Right. No, I just want to point out that for its time, Fair Play for Cuba was a precursor to the Students for a Democratic Society. Yeah. I mean, there were documented locations in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Detroit, Philadelphia, Boston, Cleveland, Minneapolis, Seattle, Miami, New Orleans, and a number of smaller or university-based, obviously Ann Arbor, obviously Madison, obviously Berkeley, all had Fair Play for Cuba committees, not unlike 10 years later with the Students for the Democratic Society. It started to be super infiltrated in 63, but in 61 or 62, there were 25 cities that had Fair Play
it was
for
important.
Cuba.
It was important. What killed
not just
them,
important, it was fucking huge.
Yeah.
And that's why him opening one in New Orleans was not a bizarre idea.
Well, here's what happened, Mark, is the guy who wrote a book on that. It's called Where the Boys Are. And you're right. But what started the downfall, I mean, the total spiral, was the missile crisis.
Oh,
because after the missile crisis, they say, hey, wait a minute, I'm supporting Castro. He has missiles. Look, so joining in the summer of 63 is in New Orleans. Okay, it's the worst possible timing you could imagine. But the point I was making with this Anita Pataki, who helps an informant go to Cuba, she's working. And then she helps another potential patsy set up a Fair Play for Cuba committee in Miami, a guy called Santiago Garriga. Pataki helps him. Guess who her boss was, her direct boss?
Who?
William Harvey.
Oh, interesting.
William Harvey is helping, his secretary is helping these informants or these potential patsies with their dealings with the Fair Play for Cuba committee, right?
Well, keep in mind, there's a perfect example. How many different projects did William Harvey have in his life? 1 or 51? You know what I mean? Guys who are lifetime, full-time guys, there's dozens and dozens of projects that William Harvey was involved in, either deeply or tangentially.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think.
I mean, and they run into each other, like him and David Atlee Phillips, or him and probably Joannides. Well, and there's overlaps, right, Paul?
Okay, so the key thing with Harvey, and if you go to the org charts, you will see that he headed Task Force W that became SAS, and not only did he bump into them, they answered to him, because Mexico City answered directly to Harvey. JM Wave answered directly to Harvey. That means that your top suspects, right? Phillips, Morales, Joannides, they're a stone.
That's the takeout menu, by the way, at the CIA that Dulles is showing Harvey there for lunch. That's the menu.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's probably looking.
But I mean, we have a great William Harvey episode if people want to take a look at it. But he had his fingers in a lot of pies, and I did not know about Mexico City being one of the pies. In fact, I never saw any evidence that he was ever in Mexico City. Not that matters.
He may not
have been, and not that matters.
He may not have been, but I can tell you this much: he's definitely closely connected to Phillips, and there's this connection, by the way. was huge for the Bay Pigs. And
yes, that's true. I mean, nobody was more embittered about the Bay of Pigs than David Atlee Phillips. And I think when he was in Chile or somewhere else, JFK visited, and he was at the ambassador's residence.
Yeah.
You remember that, don't you?
Yeah.
And he fucking looked at him. There's a photo of him glaring at Kennedy, and he talked about it later, how much he despised him. And that's where he shakes his hand the only time is at this ambassador's residence, I believe either in Central America or Chile.
Yeah. And a guy who comes close to admitting his frustration with Kennedy is Morales. As well as Harvey.
Yes, both.
Oh, no,
well, that's three of them right there. You're right.
That's your big three guys. It's Harvey, Phillips, Morales. You start with those three, and you work your way down, and you go to the org charts, and you go to their history, and you go to what they did before the assassination and after the assassination, and they left huge fingerprints. That's my take.
Well, we also, I think we learned that E. Howard Hunt was in Dallas, or at least Mark Lane, getting back to Mark Lane, representing Liberty Lobby in the countersuit appeal, had the jury agree that E. Howard Hunt had lied about being home in D.C. That particular week and was not at the office, but was
another bitter Bay of Pigs guy too, right?
No, absolutely. Who lied under oath about being in Washington during that weekend.
Yeah, that's, by the way, sort of Gaetan Fonzi's take. It's these extremely bitter CIA officers from JM Wave that were infuriated with JFK after the failed Bay Pigs, and that they were the perfect people to turn to when the signal was given for the assassination, because that's what they did anyway.
Well, I mean, it could be as subtle as LBJ saying to this group off and on, indirectly, privately, I never would have done that with Bay of Pigs like this guy did. I never would have done that. If you come to me, if I was president, I would have gone full bore.
Or saying something,
cocktail parties, you know.
Or saying, oh, we can't let Vietnam go to the commies.
That's right.
We can't have this person on the shore. We can't.
That's right.
That's all he has to say. And that means, I was thinking back at what our last discussion, and I'm more convinced than ever what your point was, that you don't roll the dice without LBJ.
You can't, Paul. It's insane.
No,
you can't. People are blinded. They're blinded by the politics of LBJ, the social politics of it. They're blinded by it. I'm sorry, but it's true. Everyone who's ever investigated this thing is a fan of the politics of Lyndon Johnson. Maybe not, and maybe the reason that he covered it up for the good of the country. But the logical point that I made last week, and I keep making for a number of years, is you cannot proceed with this plot unless you know that this guy is not coming after you. I mean, it's insane. It's insane.
It's Occam's razor.
It's Occam's razor. I mean, you'd be mentally retarded to go and say, well, we hope that LBJ doesn't get a bug up his ass and decide to go after the plotters, knowing that it's us, boys.
And he's a nice guy. He's
a nice
gentle
guy.
Lamb. He doesn't, ever react strongly to anything.
Alcoholic. I mean, why should we worry about this loose cannon? It's insane.
All right, we got some super chats. You want to
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think that'd be great in case there's something here for Paul. Let's see. For your CIA research, a Jesuit training college I researched was agricultural college in 1855. I'm having problems reading. I apologize. Set up by Thomas Spring Rice, former British Chancellor. Roosevelt sent his envoy to Mongret College.
I don't know what this means. So you need to come back with a little bit more information.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm
it's a little vague. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a very insider.
Thanks for the.
Well, it is a euro, so I think it's a euro.
Is he offering me 20 euros to answer the question? Because I'll give.
It's not. No, it's not a question. He's just
kind of
putting that out there, but it's just an incomplete sentence.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not sure I understand the question. So.
All right. Well, I understand this. A super sticker for $10 from Richard.
That was
Christian.
pretty simple. That was simple.
And Tractor Guy gifted some more America's Untold memberships, 10 of them. Thank you. And this one I saw coming in. I was like, okay, here we go.
What?
Thank you very much for the €5, but I think you're going to have to catch up on the episodes.
Yeah.
We really are way, way beyond. We don't get into the Oswald, Lone Nut. There's a lot out there for you. Go ahead and jump on it. Vincent Bugliosi wrote book on it. Others. We're just agree to disagree.
By the way, Paul, why would Marguerite Oswald need her son Lee Harvey Oswald to come back from the Marines when Robert lived in Fort Worth a couple of miles away?
Why would Marguerite
Oswald, when she was hit on the head in King's Candy Store, need her son Lee Harvey Oswald to leave the United States Marine Corps, come home to take care of her, when Robert Oswald was living fairly close
I didn't know that
in
Robert
Fort
was
Worth.
that
Nobody ever thinks about this.
Well, she needed the special son.
Yeah.
Let me see. King of Biltong on Rumble said, skip the gas station junk food while traveling. Packed Biltong from Biltong USA. Clean protein packed, grass-fed, air-dried beef. Go to biltongusa.com. Use code AUS for 10% off. And I literally had some biltong right before the show. So
wow.
I mean, it definitely does work.
I wanted to see if Paul can come back next week with Jim so we could do a Q&A with the audience and let them get involved. If Paul can come back, and if we can get Jimmy, we can let these people get involved, because they have a lot of questions. I don't know what the questions are now because they're putting up crazy statements, but
Al Gonzalez is solid. I mean, what do we have? Westbrook knew the transfer time for Oswald and had Sergeant Croy brought Ruby into the building. I'm really struggling to read this. If you guys,
I'll read it. Let me read it. Croy was standing next to Ruby during the shooting. No coincidence. Croy had no business being there. The door being opened, or the ramp allowing Ruby to go down, distracting the cop at the top of the ramp. I think we've kind of established that Ruby was allowed into the building to do what he did by a couple of cops. You don't need 118 cops to be in on it. You only need like 2 or 3, just like the Secret Service. They allowed Ruby to get in proximity of the perp, who was walked right into his gun and then taken away to Parkland, or Parkland, as they say in Dallas, where he expired. Now, who is the guy on the phone yelling at Crenshaw? The guy is LBJ, the president of the United States. The fact that this guy would be reduced to calling up the surgeon in the middle of running the nation that's on red alert, Paul, to talk to the surgeon and tell him that a Secret Service agent with a pistol sticking out of the back of his pants is in the operating room with him, waiting for not a deathbed confession, but anything that Oswald would say. It's a little much for me to understand that this was a job of the new president of the United States. I'm sorry.
The only book ever written, there are 3 assassinations that weekend. There are many books written about JFK. There are a few books written about Tippit. But there's only one that was ever written that I know of about the Oswald assassination. And it was written by Paul Abbott in Australia. And that was, God, I am having a memory blank, but I did the foreword for the book. And Paul is a great researcher. And that one, I mean, it describes everything. It describes the spatial arrangement for Ruby to have made it in, and gone down the ramp, and it's an amazing. He's someone you should have on your show, and I'm sure you'd love it.
Tax bills and that information, but at $50,000, the equivalent of that today would be close to $400,000. And I know it might be $388,919.12 to the people in the spectrum, but I'm just rounding it off to $400,000 for the point of making a story. Nevertheless, the amount of money was enormous for him to rub out Oswald.
This one right here, I might even know the answer to. I forgot the guy's name, but if Oswald is homesick that day, who would have played out the Patsy? I'm going to say Curtin guy, the one who had the rifle.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who could have been backup Patsies. Curtis was one of them, and they were threatening him with the electric chair.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that he literally was the alternate Patsy.
One guy that was bandied about was a guy called Harry Powers, who is linked to Oswald and was another communist. He was part of the Communist Party, and there were rumors that he left a Mannlicher Carcano in Indiana after the assassination.
The guy they arrested, a little guy they brought into the same jail, the same police headquarters, with dynamite in his trunk. A guy out of Fort Worth, that short guy who he might have been a patsy if it didn't work.
Sounds like he's a candidate anyway.
Yeah, he just had dynamite and rifles in his trunk.
All right, well, thank you, 72 Camber, and Pamela. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Thank you so much. And Paul, have we got you pre-booked for next week at a minimum? Hopefully we can get Jim too, do a Q&A. And Mark, we're heading into 100 JFK episodes soon. You realize?
All right, what do you want me to do about it? Let's say goodbye to Paul. It's been 2 hours. We got to go to local.
Hey, and listen, I wanted to tell you one last thing is I do go and see the comments after the show, and when I can answer,
get in there, bro.
I gave some answers to some people, and they're very nice. By the way, they're very nice. Smart. You have a smart audience, and they're very gracious and thankful, and they obviously you have a very loyal following there, Mark and Eric. So keep up the good work.
Thanks, Paulie.
Nice being on your show, and I'll be on next week if you want.
Oh, okay, thank you. Awesome. I appreciate it, bro.
Take care,
Paul. Thank you so much. And Mark, you and I are going to head over, and Torn from the Headlines is coming up momentarily. For people who are interested, go head over to Locals. Check it out. You might like it. If you don't, well, you'll see it in a couple days. But hope to see you there. And that's it for now.
Remember, emptying your recycling bin doesn't get rid of everything.
You hire a nerd, Shepherd Ferry.
Yeah, how do you get rid of everything? Do you delete it, right?
You gotta go to every nook and cranny on your computer, and just the best way to do it is just take your computer and throw it out the window. But even that won't destroy it. Yeah, I understand. I sympathize with Shepherd Ferry because he appropriates art for a living and throws it up on the wall. And to hell with the AP, he was probably like, I'm not going to pay these suckers. But, he kind of got off a little easy there. Just a $1.5 million fine and 300 hours of community service that we don't know if he did that service or not.
Yeah, we know he just was like high-fiving ethnic children.
That counts.
High five. High five.
That counts.
Sanchez, high five. And then that's it. He's on. They just want their money, honey.
I had Shepard. I met Shepard Fairey in 2001. He looked at my art portfolio, and he actually gave me really good feedback. I remember it was a very big moment to have like a prominent artist look at my portfolio, and he liked some of it. He had some good suggestions here and there, and then he went on with his life and did multi-billion-dollar work, and here I am doing doom scrolling. Okay.
Well, guess who won? Sounds like
I
you.
think I'm doing okay. I think
you won, dude. God, we gotta stay away from that freaking skull.
We're almost up to 4,000. Here we go.
I know, but that skull is just
it's
so close.
It's teasing you. I know.
Oh God.
I stumbled on what I think might be one of the most tragic articles I've ever seen. There's some California researchers who ran out of money, and so they opened an OnlyFans account to raise money for their chunky marmots that they were researching. I went to this OnlyFans account, I checked it out. I'll show you an image. I mean, this poor marmot is being forced to take photos that I don't think he would take if a human wasn't there. I think this is basically like, I don't know, the Andrew Tate of chunky marmot situations. And I hope someone does something for these poor marmots.
That is hilarious.
How much is it getting on OnlyFans, though? That's
how much did it make, nerd
like this guy did only like half the report here. Like, so what? Anybody
how much money they make? Where do we go? How do we support marmot pornography?
Marmots only.
Marmots only.
I don't know. I want to know if that guy's making some change.
Yeah, dude.
I wouldn't want to create an OnlyFans account just to give to our marmot, but I might.
But what if a lot of money comes in and you're like, dude, this is a lot of money. We should keep some of it.
I can find a squirrel.
Yeah, I can find a squirrel. The marmot doesn't know how much it's making.
Yeah, and he will get peanuts and cashews, expensive nuts. They'll live well.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, all right, let's do
that. Some guy just said he's Val Kilmer's bat nipples. So we have celebrities in the comment section.
Wow, Val Kilmer's bat nipples.
Yep.
That is a rare appearance.
It is. That is. Not a lot of heat going on there. Just want to get out. Let people still know you're alive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God.
We're safe.
There's this new raccoon psyop. You see all the clips of the raccoons drowning and then people saving them? They have directives from the highest level to allow this raccoon takeover to proliferate and expand within our country. There was a clip the other day that I saw of raccoons taking over a woman's house. It's already started. The authorities won't do anything. They won't do anything because they're in on it. The wall is being built to keep us in, not to keep people out. Is so that we can't escape.
Palantir's been working with AI to get AI integration. If they're behind it too, we're going to get AI-powered drones. They're going to turn on us.
And that's the long play. That's the big plan. Like cattle, they're just herding us right to their solution that they created. It's this circular effect. They lead you directly to that.
Wait a second. So how
I
the
feel
raccoons...
like we started on raccoons and then we got into Palantir.
We missed a segment. Like we missed something with
I don't know, dude. That was both great and freaking awful. Is that worst video of the day?
Or is it the best? Because
which one is it, dude?
Oh, no.
I mean, I was all in on the raccoon conspiracy, and then we got into gay lizards, and I'm like, how do we make this jump, dude?
I don't know, but it's brilliant.
Everything's been a little off since we visited Hitler. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
A couple people said best video of the day. Okay,
it could
man.
be. I can do that.
Yeah, I mean the doomers have spoken.
Okay. Let's do it.
Video of the day! Yay! Great job.
You don't even care that your hair is on fire.
I don't, dude. I just keep rocking.
Yeah, that's what you do.
I
want to get an update on see how much that marmot's making on OnlyFans, though.
Can you look that up?
I'll see.
Marmot OnlyFans?
I'll ask ChatGPT. And by the way, the raccoon takeover. I I think within another maybe 10 to 20 years, they might officially be considered domesticated animals. Like they're so used to being around humans that they are the next species in line to be, I think, domesticated. So kind of like dogs and cats are domesticated, raccoons are next on the list.
Yeah, and their snouts are getting smaller.
Make them a little bit more friendly?
Yeah, it just means they're being less wild and more domesticated.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I like raccoons, besides when they attack my chickens and kill the chickens. And
outside
problems,
of murder, you think they're great.
Yeah, outside of murder.
Yeah, someone brought this up. Raccoon snouts are getting smaller, just like taints. The taints are shrinking. I don't even know what that means.
I just pulled this up. This is the raccoon Palantir video, and we got telephone psychics on that. I don't know what that means, though. So
I love it. It's 1-900 suckers.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
We need. Can we get a another fucking?
Here we go.
Triple point play button.
We need this, dude. We're so behind.
Yes.
Here we go.
You've probably never heard of the mushroom mafia, and there's a reason for that. We're not talking about magic mushrooms, but the kind on your dinner plate. The top 3 most popular mushrooms in the world all have a compound called agarotine in them. Studies on agarotine have shown that it causes cancer in rats.
Oh, great.
But don't worry, the studies funded by the mushroom lobby in America found they're completely safe for humans. That's right, there's a mushroom lobby. Europe, on the other hand, has standards around safe levels of agarotine. Italy's anti-mafia task force actually shut down multiple mushroom farms that were lying about the levels of agarotine in their mushrooms. Oh yeah, and they were also laundering money. If you want to put on your tinfoil hat for a second, we can talk about the black budget theory. Agarotine can be converted into hydrazine, also known as rocket fuel. The theory goes, the US government, through black budget programs, owns large-scale mushroom farms in Pennsylvania, specifically Kennett Square, which is known as the mushroom capital of the world. They take the agarotine and convert it into hydrazine, feeding it into aerospace and weapons programs off the books. So why is no one talking about this?
Why is nobody talking about this?
Scientists in Italy blew the whistle on a certain region having high levels of agarotine, and soon after they disappeared. There have actually been a lot of attempts to publish studies on this topic, but weirdly the scientists kept exploding or getting the shit beat out of them. On an unrelated note, I personally think all mushrooms are safe to eat. I just don't eat them because they're yucky.
Hold on. You can't do a whole video saying that they might cause cancer and they're fuel for rockets and then go, but I'm cool with it even though I don't eat them.
Yeah. Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, dude, I gotta tell you, I don't know, man. That pisses me off.
He didn't end the video very well. He hyped and hyped and hyped the mushrooms, and then it kind of fell flat.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I don't want to.
Other than that,
yeah, it was a great video until the end when he just totally circumvented his whole argument.
All right, we're gonna keep going. We're up to 6,400.
Oh, I love it.
We're doing okay.
We're doing better than okay, buddy.
Here we go.
Yes.
Whoa.
Oh.
The grave of Paul, the slab that's on top of it, there are these holes in it, and they would put a handkerchief on a string and they would lower it down so it could contact the bones, and then they'd pull it up, and then you'd have the martyr's holiness would be there. Now that sounds so ridiculously superstitious.
It does, yeah.
But you know who it doesn't sound superstitious to? All Christians prior to the Enlightenment. This is actually not only the biblical worldview, but the church historical worldview until the Enlightenment pulled the holy and the sort of de-enchanted the world.
But is this the worldview of everyone at the time, too?
Yes. The bones of the saints were the absolute most important thing a kingdom could have.
Wow. Interesting. Blurry creatures.
Yeah, skeleton saints.
They're doing things more than just blurry creatures.
They really are. Yeah. Something happened. The one guy left.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. He left to go do another podcast.
Yeah, he was featured too. He was the guy. He was talking about the weird alien human hybrids.
Yeah,
I wish they come back together. Yeah, well, he used to be on the show.
Mm. Oh, I see what you're talking about. The guy who we had on earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
Here
had
we
some
go.
short videos. I'm really, they get into it and then they just stop.
Yeah.
Window.
Whoa! We're in
Mom,
another dimension.
Dad, I've met someone. Can I talk to you guys for a sec? Mom, Dad, I'm gay. We love you, son.
What?
I fucking knew it. Everybody knew it. It's your mother's. Ask next time. And who the hell are you two?
Oh, we're supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That was great.
We're supportive, dude.
Very supportive of alternative lifestyles and alternative dimensions.
Yes,
and with
dude.
alternative species. Yeah.
We need those gay Bigfoot dollars, dude.
Please. Oh, wow.
Bigfoot.
All right. Yeah. And we're going to roll that one. Here we go.
Well, this is interesting. On January 17th, 1882, hey, that's my birthday, by the way, the month and day, not the year, a Southern Pacific train crossing the Arizona desert to Yuma may have had a run-in with a 30-foot flying serpent. The story says the engineer, fireman, and multiple passengers saw it. The creature crossed the tracks and the train clipped its tail. And then, because apparently this thing had absolutely no interest in letting that slide, it chased the train down and allegedly attacked it from above, smashing windows before flying back into the desert. The story actually made the newspaper. So could it have been exaggerated? Absolutely. What makes me hesitate before completely throwing it in the old timely tall tale pile is that multiple people reportedly witnessed it. And the story was recorded immediately after the train arrived in Los Angeles. And then there's the bigger mystery. This wasn't the only 19th century American account of enormous flying reptiles or dragons. There was a whole tradition of these sightings across the American West. Could folklore, newly discovered pterosaurs, and imagination have created the legend? Sure. But what if at least some of these reports were genuinely people describing something they couldn't identify? We don't know, and that's the fun part. If you're willing to believe the wilderness of the 1800s still contained animals we've never documented, then things can get a little weird. I did a full episode on dragons on the Nessie and Nephilim podcast, so go check that out and let me know what you think in the comments.
I love these stories.
Yeah, dude, dragons are real, bro. I don't care what Dylan Wren says.
Yeah, I love these old timey stories, the sensational, a narrative in order to get newspapers sold. But like you said, there are, like back in the day, they would print very out there stories in order to drive sales of newspapers. But you also had reports of Bigfoot, Wildmen in these newspapers in the 1800s, and Thunderbirds and Dragons. So there's something there.
Yeah, dude, you're saying that all the newspapers were the National Enquirer?
They definitely had a slant like that sometimes, depending on the newspaper and the town, but it wasn't unheard of to purposely print sensational out there stuff to sell newspapers. But
would you ride a dragon if you're given a chance? Great
Yes.
question word for it to be. Yes, I would. If I knew I could ride it, hell yeah.
By the way, I have an update on Only Marmots.
Yes.
So there isn't. So this is what I found. I'm going to Chat GPT. Maybe Grok would do better, but there is an OnlyFan account run by UCLA, and as of August 2026, it has got about $6,000 in donations for this marmot. But
That's
now,
all?
yeah, only six grand. But it's not bad. And then there is a meme coin called Only Marms, which has produced about $100,000. So
100,000
for a meme coin called Only Marms. So, yeah. So
They got rug pull that shit so they can keep the money.
That's what you got to do. That's the trick. All right.
Now dragons are demons, Dottie? I mean, why can't there just be dragons, dude?
Yeah. All right.
You know, maybe it's then someone says dragons represent hell. Maybe it is that.
Yeah.
Only marmies.
Sam Tripoli, what's up, Sam?
What's up, Tim Pool? Ah, yes!
Listen how shocking this is. Between 30 and 33 AD, a Chinese emperor of the Han Dynasty wrote down during an eclipse that was happening, he wrote these words in the history books. And he said, yin and yang have mistakenly switched. The sun and the moon were eclipsed. The sins of all under heaven are now on one man, and a pardon is proclaimed to all under heaven. And then another portion of the record of the Han Dynasty says, an eclipse on the day of Guiha, the man from heaven died. So you had this secular, if you will, historical writing from the time of Jesus' death and resurrection between 30 and 33 AD. And they're writing during an eclipse, the sins of all were on one man, pardon is proclaimed to all under heaven, and the man from heaven dies. I mean, the scripture says from noon until 3, there was darkness over all the land. So you have the biblical account of an eclipse. You have a Chinese account during the same time frame of an eclipse and a man dying for the sins of all. And even NASA confirms that there is an eclipse in this time frame. So I don't know if an angel told it to him. I don't know how this emperor would find that out. But all I know is the Bible is true, and you have secular accounts from the same time frame saying the same thing the Bible says.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know what to
Chinese
say.
Jesus, dude.
Look at that. We got
That's
2,000 points for that one.
Big points.
Look at that.
Yay.
I'm impressed with what we're doing so far. We're actually kind of in contention. We could actually pull this off.
We could. If it all works out, let's go.
Here we go.
Canada has over 2 million lakes, and at some point they ran out of names, so they had to get creative. For example, this lake in Thunder Bay, Ontario, named in the 1800s when the word was slang for cat. Great reviews on Google Maps, also some bad ones. Big Ass Lake, Nova Scotia, name officially approved by the government in 1953. Stupid Lake, it's a freshwater lake in Manitoba, 500 feet above sea level. Man drowned himself lake, named after two brothers who tried to cross the lake in a terrible canoe. Another lake in British Columbia, it is questionably shaped, surrounded by beautiful pine trees. And another lake is right next door. This lake in Ontario, and that lake. Unexpected Lake, also in Ontario. Great place for fishing, has one cabin. Go Home Lake, home to approximately 430 homes. They're a very tight-knit community. Butt Lake, named after Sir Isaac Butt. Pooh Lake, Wrong Lake, Useless Lake, also Useless Lake. My Lake, Third Lake, Third Lake, Third Lake, and Third Lake. Misery Lake, Nova Scotia, created at the end of the last ice age. And Disappointment Lake in Vancouver, formerly known as Mistake Lake. Thank you.
That's hilarious,
You
dude.
did a great job. I think that could be video of the day.
Okay, I'm not afraid. Video of the day.
Bomb, Barto. This is #1
I
video,
know we got
guys.
two of them,
Super
but
easy
I think that was
video.
very well done. The delivery and content and consistency.
And she's hot. It all works, dude.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was well done. She's easy on the eyes. Let's go.
Yep.
Butt Lake? That's great, man. Hey, dude, we're going to spend this summer with the family at Butt Lake.
We're at Butt Lake. Catch us there.
The brainwashing is horrific. So without going into great details, they torture you in ways that would make a German POW guard wince. They really push you to the edge of death. The other thing that really clicked, Kathy O'Brien talks about the verbal cues to trigger events. You have all these different personalities, but she was an encrypted messenger. I mean, we think of encrypted messages as digital, but she would actually be sent to deliver a message to the president of Mexico saying, my president would like to tell you to do this and this and this for NAFTA, and they'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah. Message over, right? You could trigger the different functions with keywords. Now, the critical thing is they use a lot of Disney movie metaphors, which Disney itself as a corporation has a problem, not just because there's kids nearby and therefore there's, but I think the corporation has strong foundations and some pretty sick stuff. They use Disney characters with the kids and Wizard of Oz triggers and stuff like that. So imagine some kid decides to tell a teacher something. What's the kid going to do? The kid's going to talk about how Prince Charming did such and such, right? And right away, they're going to be dismissible because they're using fictional characters to try to tell a story that's not fictional. And so it provides great cover. Now, the other thing is true is the networks. I used to think the pervs were soloists. They're not at all. They're elaborate networks, big networks.
Yep. Yep. I agree, dude.
Yep. That's what I got from that. We shouldn't trust Disney. That's what I got out of that one.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy because like when you have kids, there's like, what can I watch with my kids?
Yeah.
And it's just Disney. And then you're like, okay, we're just going to get through this occult imagery and just have fun.
Yeah.
And it's like like I was saying on one podcast, like I went and saw Minions versus Monsters, and every trailer was geared towards young girls, and it was all about sorcery.
Well, magic is fun, but it doesn't always have to be magic.
Well, it's just like, why are they wanting girls to get into sorcery so badly?
Well,
like they all, like the movie itself and a trailer had a Book of the Dead in it.
Oh, really? So it's very specific. Okay. Well, obviously they want them to go on TikTok and join a TikTok witch coven.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine on my Instagram try to tell me spells aren't real. I'm like, what are you talking about?
If you believe in
love after love.
If you believe. You can make
it's all sorcery, dude.
It's a mental game.
It's a mental game. We're not doing that bad.
No, we're not. We're doing okay.
We're not doing that bad at all. Oh.
There's a guy, I'm not going to say his name because dangerous maybe for him. Maybe.
Okay.
Although billionaires go to where he's at. He's in the middle of the redwood forest in California.
Oh, wow.
He collected frequencies. Everything has a frequency. This has a frequency.
Yep.
This has a frequency. I have a frequency. You have a frequency.
Yep.
For the government, he collected 10,000 frequencies. They only wanted some of them. And so he was allowed to keep the rest of those frequencies. And he developed a way to be able to shoot frequencies into the body. You guys have heard of the Rife machine and all that stuff like that. Yeah. But his treatment started out at anywhere from like $50,000 up to $1 million. So like it's a guy that was a very high level guy, went in there, stroke, completely whole right side, limp, like couldn't walk hardly, had to be carted in by a wheelchair, went into the treatment and walked out. That in the blood, there was these little black things that float around the blood, and people never really knew what they were. They kind of just discarded them when they redo your blood. They discard them, but what they are, according to him, is stem cells. They're baby stem cells, general baby stem cells. And he developed a frequency that cracked the shells of these black things. And so he would crack the shells of these black things and insert the frequency into the problem area, and those stem cells became baby stem cells for the area that he shot them into.
It's designed to activate those cells, but to become a specific thing. Like if it's like a shoulder injury,
it just automatically happens.
Oh, they would know what to do.
They would know what to do once they're hatched.
Nephilim Death Squad. Bringing the heat, dude. Now, did he say who it was? Matt Rife's dad? Is that what he basically said there?
That's maybe I heard it wrong, but I thought that's what I heard.
Damn.
But it's the original scientist was like an unnamed scientist. They didn't. He said that name is undocumented, at least according to this story. He didn't want to say it.
You know what? I could use some stem cells on my hair, dude.
Yeah, big time.
I could really use it on my hair. I'm getting my ass kicked But you know what? That's why our good friends at Hims. That's right. Catch yourself in the mirror doing the mental math on your hairline. Most guys know that moment. Hims makes it simple to actually do something about it, right? Hims offers a convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments and ingredients that work, including chews, medications, serums, and sprays. Prescription strength ingredients like formamicide and minoxidil can help prevent further hair loss and regrow it as little as 3-6 months. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personal treatments plans that put your goals first, right? All right, it's straightforward, transparent, and designed to making getting care easy. For simple online access to personal and affordable care for hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/doom. That's hims.com/doom for free. Yeah, dude, hims.com for free. Just hold on. For free online visit. That's hims.com/doom. Feature products include compound drugs, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Individual results may vary. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. We thank them for sponsoring our show. Yeah, see, you guys complained about so we brought them back. We brought back the hair fixers. That's what we're proud of. We brought back the hair people.
I'm gonna need that soon. You know, I've held onto my hair
Your
for
hair
a long
looks
time,
great,
and
though,
it's thinning. Trust me. Me and my hair know what's going on. Okay, so I might have to call Hims.
People are saying that was a great ad read. Thank you, guys.
It was dynamite.
Thank you, dude. I loved it, dude. Real fire there. Real fire. Got about 6 or 7 videos for Sam's Corner.
Oh,
then
really? Okay.
we're going to read your super chats. Get in there, super chat it up.
We want a special message.
Yeah.
I think we are close to a world where you can have like a descendant of ChatGPT watch your computer screen all of the time, watch every meeting you're in, like record every call, everything like that, have perfect context of your whole life, everything you see. You choose what information you want it to have, but it can like go, you can connect it to your texts or email or docs or Slack or whatever. And then you have this thing that is not making decisions for you. But if you're like the CEO of a startup, there's always like more stuff to do than you can do, and context you can't all keep track of. You can't like read every piece of customer feedback every day. And you can just have this thing that's like working alongside you. And as you're like typing out a sales pitch to a customer or like writing a strategy doc, it'll just say like, hey, maybe here's another idea, or I think you're making a mistake here. You should consider this, or I can do this thing for you to help. And like this, I think we're only like one model generation away from this actually being incredibly useful. And I think that will change, hopefully, at least for me, change the way I work.
What's your best guess on timing?
Like sometime in the next 6 months.
Damn.
This sucks. And
Yeah, I love it. He's like, it's going to be great. It's going to be watching you all the time and basically snitching on you if you act up. Is that awesome? I did molest my daughter. I mean, my cousin. I mean, my sister. What did he say? I didn't molest my sister. And
Is that what he said?
No, but that's, dude, his sister says he did that to her. And he supposedly linked to one of the whistleblowers showing up unalived.
Well, what I found interesting was he said a descendant of Chat, like he's using not like another version, like not the next iteration of ChatGPT, but a descendant, as if they're like categorizing this thing as alive and having offspring. Like that's how they're viewing it. Like
a
it's
family tree.
Yeah, it's a descendant. It's not another version or an upgrade or a patched piece of software. They're viewing it as something that is, I don't know if living is the right word, but autonomous and able to generate offspring, which is crazy. It's crazy to think, but that's their mentality.
Yeah, we're about 6 months away from you having no freedom or privacy. Isn't that awesome? Everyone's in the room like, oh my God.
This is amazing.
Everyone in the room always claps no matter how dark the speaker gets. Like Bill Gates, like if these vaccines work, we're gonna, reduce the population by 15%. Everyone's like, oh my
This is what I
God,
want.
what did
This is
he
what I
just
need.
say? I'm clapping, but I'm shitting my pants right now.
Here we go. We're doing pretty good. We almost got 11,000 right here.
I'm not sad.
No, I'm not. I'm not sad at all. We've done pretty good. I'm proud
We
of
gotta
us.
get into that window, dude.
Yep. Here we go.
Let's go. Oh, so close.
Have you guys heard of the Black Hole of Calcutta? No. The Black Hole of Calcutta, June 20th, 1756. India at the time, they had governors or rulers of different sections of India. And there was this new ruler named Siraj-ud-Daulah in Calcutta, the Brits. They set up their own fort called Fort William, not paying taxes on goods that they're taking out of India, bleeding Calcutta dry. So Siraj raises an army of 50,000 people. They surround the fort. The guy in charge of Fort William fled. There's no one in charge of Fort William now. So they elect this guy, John Howell. They're overtaken pretty instantly. So they captured 146 soldier prisoners. And they're like, well, we need a place to hold them at night. Siraj's men was like, let's go hold them in that cell. So they marched 146 soldiers down to the dungeon and placed them in a jail cell. This room was 18 feet by 14 feet.
Oh my
They
God.
said it was literally suffocating. So people were like trying to jump up and breathe out of the window. As that was happening, people were like getting thrown to the ground. So they stayed there all night. And in the morning, the guards opened the door. Only 23 soldiers survived.
Oh my gosh. So sad.
John Howe, he survived it, and he's the one that wrote about it. It took him 20 minutes to get out of the room because of the stacks of dead bodies that he had to crawl over.
dense it
Oh
was.
my
And
God.
in that room? Yeah. 5 seconds. Maybe not even that.
Max.
My God. That's terrifying to think about. Absolutely terrifying to think about.
That is like war. People do disgusting shit.
Humans did that to other humans. You know? It's
I
just,
would get claustrophobic.
that's one of those things that you just don't want to even think about. And it makes
I
like,
go out blasting. I'm like, this isn't going to end well for us. Just go out blasting.
yeah, I don't want to be shoved in a locker.
Yeah, dude, take me out. I want to be in a locker. I'm tired of working. I'm in Calcutta. Kiss my ass. 5 more minutes.
Yeah, does it get? I'm already in Calcutta. Like, how much worse can it get?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
They were newlyweds. Her husband's name was George. He comes home from work, and they got in an argument about something, and he decides to leave and go blow off steam. And this is in the Dayton, Ohio area. And he takes a city bus downtown. He leaves the family car at home, and when he gets off the bus, the last person that ever saw him was the bus driver, at least officially. Like, I think obviously somebody saw him after that, but the last known person is a bus driver. And he was going into the direction of a nightclub called the Asylum. So the assumption, I would say, is that he went to the Asylum because that's where he was seen walking towards. But he was never seen again. And there's some really mysterious things about this nightclub, the Asylum, and Dayton, Ohio's underground network of vampires. It's what? It's not the first. It's the second most vampires in the country. Is that correct?
There was a study done by like the New Orleans Vampire Association or whatever. And so New Orleans is first and Dayton, Ohio was second.
But supposedly he goes in there, and the next day there's an investigation into where he is because he didn't come home that night. I don't think it was Helen. I think it was George's mom that called the police. And so they start looking around, and this retired detective goes in the next day just to, I guess, ask questions, just to see, has anybody seen this guy? He has a picture of him. And so he goes to a bartender, and he shows the bartender, have you seen this guy? His name's George Gall. And the bartender said, that is a face I'll never forget. And so we have somebody inside the bar saying that they have seen him there. So the bus driver is saying that he saw him going to the Asylum nightclub. It seems like he went in. So at the end of the night, the floor is empty. Bartender's probably cleaning up, doing his rounds. And he sees a deal go down in this empty floor. And this bartender, he said that there was a deal that happened. Somebody came in, an occult collector, and bought a human head that was wrapped in a bag. And the human head that he saw wrapped in the bag was what was in the picture.
Oh
George
my
Gall.
God, I'm never going to a nightclub in
And
Dayton.
my question is, if that's true, why did the detective a day after this incident go in there, ask questions, and get that information, and then nothing ever comes of it? And it becomes a cold case.
Yeah, because they're all vampires.
Yeah, it's a big.
Come on, Tony. You know that. They're all fucking vampires.
Probably the chief of police vampire, deputy vampire.
How close are you to Dayton, dude?
About an hour and a half.
God.
It's right down. So right down there, you got the Dayton Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Hangar 18 people. That's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in Dayton. Vampires is probably like third on the list.
I mean, Dayton is shady.
It's crazy down there.
I call them hood farmers, dude.
You ever been down there to Dayton?
Yeah, I've had a couple weird experiences there.
Yeah.
It's a weird town, dude. Okay, guys, I'm going to get a new microphone after this. You guys are driving me crazy.
During Mao's Cultural Revolution in communist China, a student handed in a blank exam paper and became a national hero for it. 2 years later, he was granted a seat on the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress. His real scores surfaced in 1977: 61 in mathematics, 38 in Chinese, 6 in physics and chemistry. But these didn't matter, because on the back of the paper, Zhang Taisheng wrote that he was disgusted by bookworms who had never done honest work. That was enough to satisfy the party's stance against bourgeois intellectualism. This is arguably one of the greatest examples of a pathological regime rewarding ideological conformity over competence. Mao's regime wrote the slogan "Red and Expert" into its promotion criterion. Coined during the 1957 anti-rightist campaign, the phrase placed political loyalty in one box and the ability to do the job in the other. This was paired with the doctrine that outsiders should lead insiders, meaning non-specialists placed above specialists. Farmers were no longer the experts on farming. A communist was. The process was repeated in every field. As you can imagine, the consequences came quickly. Cadres who reported honestly on the harvests were the ones being purged. So, instead of telling Mao that yields were collapsing, they reported what he wanted to hear. He then set procurement targets based on those faulty figures. The regime ended up taking an increased share of a dwindling supply of food. The Great Leap Forward starved tens of millions within 4 years. A deadly lesson is revealed here. A leader who selects against competence eventually loses the ability to see and then governs based on a delusion. A man who wants what is best for his people and a psychopath aiming to consolidate power will react to this failure very differently. Rather than restoring the people who could tell him the truth, Mao moved the filter to the place where such people are made. China abolished the Gaokao, its national university entrance examination, in 1966, taking it so far that universities stopped recruiting altogether. When admissions resumed in 1970, test scores were not the selection method. Instead, having the correct class background, at least 2 years of manual labor, and the recommendation of a party cadre determined eligibility. In other words, no measurement of competence at all. The exam was not restored until December 1977, and by then, a decade of maleducation had already been provided. A regime that captures public and higher education saves itself from having to purge institutions of dissenters in the future. Whether Lenin actually said it or not, the quote widely attributed to him encapsulates the totalitarian project. Give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted.
I could watch something like that forever. It's fascinating slice of history and social engineering and
2 stories of people bringing in Marxism, everything going to shit. It's just rich. I mean, dude, imagine not picking the best. When you no longer have a meritocracy, that's when everything goes to shit. Like Los Angeles and Hollywood. When you're no longer trying to find the best, okay, then it's crash and burn, dude.
Yep. I think it's time for Sam's Corner. Call me
Oh,
crazy.
let's go. We got some bangers, dude.
Good.
That's a great song.
That is a great song, dude. That is a great song. Let me see what we got first. Okay, here we go. This is very important.
Claimed that Wiggers built America? What do you mean by that?
I mean, we was the ones here from day one, building shit up, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at George Washington, you look at Thomas Jefferson, they had them wigs on, man. Where you think my culture comes from, man? What you think this is? That's wicked shit, man. We was building this country all the way back, 1700s. They was bringing us up in boats. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Where did your ancestors come from?
Norwegian cruise lines.
So from like Norway or?
Yeah, exactly. Type shit. Norwegian type shit.
Did they land at Plymouth Rock?
I like to say Plymouth Rock landed on us.
I mean, I buy into it, dude.
Very well done.
I buy it 100%. I don't know how I feel about this. What do you think about this?
She say she on that type of time. You can catch her outside with a sign. I don't buy the way she leave she outside. That's the type of thick shit you don't find. Come on, baby, throw that motherfucker right.
Like, dude, it looks like the Thanksgiving Day turkey just got up and decided to stress.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, obviously, a beautiful little person, but I would have to say, honestly, not for me, really, you know?
Dude, this is how bad LA's getting.
Whoa.
I don't know how they did that, dude, but they did it.
I've been seeing a little bit of like these, like people living like a couple stories up underneath the highways, like tree houses.
Yeah.
And very innovative.
I should have played this one next since we're in the Wiggers.
Got in the Uber, mask on his face. Think he's a gangster from a suburban place. Acts hard in the streets, but he's sweeter than candy.
Do it out here, bro. What'd you say? What the f***, dude? What are you talking about? Man, what am I talking about, man?
Bruh. Everybody trying to be silly with me, man. You don't know me like that, bro.
Obviously, I don't know you.
Yeah, you don't know me like that, bro. Watch out,
I
bro.
don't even know what you're talking about.
I asked you to drive me somewhere, man. That's it.
What are you talking about?
On my mom, bro. You don't know me like that, bro. Bro, I ain't with the games, bro.
Cheeks like Sandy, watch his Love Island with the blinds all shut. He be fronting online, but it don't add up. Chains are fake,
Jordans are fake.
All that flex got a rental taste.
Funny, man. You think you funny, bro?
No, I don't think I'm
No, this games, man. You don't even know me like that on my mom, bro. Get real serious up in here quick, bro. On my mom, bro.
On my mom.
You don't even know me like that, bro.
Whatever, cuz. You can see right through fake jeans, fake jeans, even got fake shoes.
Mask on his face, he ain't happy. Maybe it's just hiding his acne. Acting tough, but he got good credit. This the driver, now I bet he regret it. Mask on his face, he ain't happy. Maybe it's just hiding his acne. Acting tough, but he got good credit.
This is on video, bro. You lucky this is on camera, bro.
Or what?
Test me, dog. You don't know me like that. Take my mask off. Take that. Like, bro, you a driver.
Bro, I asked you for security. I've had people get in.
You a driver, bro. Take me in my place, twin. That's it. Tell me what to wear and stuff. Like, you don't even know me like that, bro. Hurry up and drop me off, bro. Hurry the f and drop me off, man. I'm serious, bro.
The song did rock.
It was the greatest troll I've ever seen in recent history. It really is. That's like I don't know how he pulled it off, but either it's staged or like obviously AI.
Everyone's saying it's staged. Why don't you guys just shit in the birthday cake? Why don't you guys just do that?
I am a true believer. I'm a
real
dreamer.
Quick, you are a dreamer, dude. Real quick, I mean, this is one of my favorite videos of all time. It's when Mao realizes that what's his name's wife is trans. Here we go. This is my favorite video of all time.
Oh, Henry Kissinger.
Yeah. By the way, she's only 6 foot. How short are these dudes?
Yeah, they're tiny.
Like he's like, dude, it's a dude.
Yeah, he's like, what's going on here? He's like,
All right, here this is from Ryan and Danny. They're the two best comedy, political comedy, social comedy sketch guys in the world.
Neo has said that he's embracing the polyamorous lifestyle after posting pictures of his 3 girlfriends, to which polyamorous man Dan Jones said, that's way better than the polyamory I've been doing.
At this point, his girlfriend Tori interjected, saying, "What the did you just say, Dan?" To which Dan replied, "I mean, I misspoke. The situation where I'm one of Tori's 4 boyfriends is actually a much better version of polyamory, and also, this is what Tori wanted. I mean, what we wanted."
Tori interjected once again to say, "That's better, Dan, and you better lose the attitude if you ever want to get out of the garage," before turning to the reporter to say, "We'd much prefer to have him in the house and the bed every 5th night, but lately he's had a problem with sharing, and apparently he thinks he should have me all to himself, even though he knows damn well Wednesday is Dave and John's turn on my body and his turn to watch Dave and my kid."
Following her comments, Tori's 3 other boyfriends burst into the living room angrily, with Dave Johnson leading the charge to say, "What's this we're hearing about you thinking 3 women in bikinis is better than sharing Tori between the 4 of us? Are you trying to anger her?" With John adding, "You know we're not supposed to anger her before her second lunch," to which Tori slammed the table with her fist before yelling, "Enough chit-chat! Which one of you is going to carry me to the toilet?"
Brilliantly done.
So well done.
They're
What
good.
else do we got here?
They're good.
We're just cooking with gas here. We're just grown ass people doing grown ass. Oh, dude, this was a literal scene from a movie. It's when Al Pacino goes undercover in gay sex clubs. I forgot the name of it. Here we go.
What the hell was that? Did he show you his knife? What did he hit me for?
Who paid for the room?
What was that?
I'd see that Pacino movie.
Oh,
that looked like a good one.
I thought that's supposedly that's real, dude. That really happened.
I think that looked like a real. It didn't seem AI to me.
Well, I believe in it, dude. Here we go. We're gonna do this one real quick.
Couple has been filmed sunbaking while on safari when a wild baboon creeps up behind them to steal their snacks. Nope, they didn't notice. The pair was so glued to their phones, they had no idea.
Goodness.
That gave the animal plenty of time to have a feed. A worker, though, soon saw what was happening and came running down to shoo the baboon away.
That is extraordinary.
It's the goof of all time.
The word is they were watching doom scrolling.
Oh wow, yeah, it's a very addictive show to watch.
They texted me. They go, "Did you see that video with the baboon, dude?"
Oh,
that was me, dude. And then we were watching your show. So good, we didn't even know we were about to die.
Yeah, he was gonna tear us limb from limb, but
Yeah, they're
the
like,
show was
and then
good.
the baboon started watching for a second. And he's like, "Dude, that Midnight Mike, good-looking guy, great skin." He said.
Yeah.
You fairy.
Sir, how much do you make a year in Los Angeles?
I don't really make money for what I do.
Crazy question, but can I come to work with you for the day?
Sure, dude.
So what do you do exactly?
I'm a sleep paralysis demon. So where are we going right now? We're actually headed to my first stop of the night. It's a house right up here. Hey, welcome to my office.
What's one of your favorite parts of the job?
I'm a night owl, so I like being up late.
What's one of your least favorite parts of the job?
It can be strenuous on like relationships. It's hard to hold down like a girlfriend.
So yo, we're in this guy's bedroom and he's gonna do his like sleep paralysis demon thing.
What? I think that's a kid.
Oh, dude, that's a kid. We have to get the fuck out of here. We got
You want to explain what you're doing in a 16-year-old's bedroom right now?
It's a 16-year-old boy.
No, we can either handle this here, or I'm calling the cops.
Yeah, we're just recording a video. Like, it's nothing
filming
crazy.
a video. You guys get that?
I'm a sleep paralysis.
You think I haven't heard that before?
No, but I thought he was like an older guy.
Who are you guys? I'm here to protect you. Thank God. Thank Christ I was here.
Dude, get out of my way.
Hey,
Hey!
So you're like a YouTube guy or something?
Yeah, I catch creeps.
Can I go to work with you for the day?
Yeah, sure.
So how do you find these guys?
The creeps?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an app. Look. There's one at CVS right up here.
That's our show, guys. We
well
did
done.
it.
I think we got some.
did
We
it.
got super chats.
Oh, we got super chats. 10 of them. Damn,
Whoa.
dude. Damn, dude.
Nice.
I'm so glad to finally catch one live. I recently found you guys and loving Doomscrolling. You guys are great. Thank you, William King. 380, 3,800 or something like that. We love you. Everyone's favorite blonde Amazon. Kim became a YouTube member. I got to start putting stuff on YouTube. I got to figure out what to do, dude. I got to start doing some premium content. Why not? I'll go crazy. Oh, she's back again. Amazon. We love her. Amazon Blonde. You guys rock. You make me love Tuesdays. Thank you for those gay dollars. Jason. J7B.
Jason 7B.
7B, Jason J, 7B, hot dog. Thank you.
Thank you for
We
the
love
hot dog.
$2. Wu-Tang Forever from Zizek Anonymous. I think that's how you pronounce it. Why am I a reader? Stop making me read. Mia Zoo XO, $1.99. And this is from Machada. Gay dollars for the wheel to give up the window. Come on, give up the window, dude.
It's been on there. It just hasn't given it up.
Give it up. Another Mia Zoo X0XO. Bang. All right. User 1. Oh, iffy. Much love from Emma and Hayden in New Zealand. Winter's here. Dude, we're big in New Zealand with the Hobbits, dog.
That's a good. I like a good fan base of Hobbits.
I wonder what the Hobbits would have thought about that chicken nugget that with the big rack.
They would have been on board. I think they would have been scared of the story of the dragon attacking the train.
They would have gotten scared, and
Very,
then
very
she'd
scared.
walk in, and then just a riot would break out on who's gonna get to date her with her fat midget chi-chis. Here we go. Final one. William King 3800. Everything is fake and gay. Yeah, dude. Everything is fake and gay. Guys, we did it again. We have won. We went down wormholes. Very thankful to Sky for all of her hard work on those videos. Thank you to everybody who's doing AI on the show. We're going to have a segment where we recognize you in your social medias. Love you guys. Love Midnight. Thank you guys.
You personally, but they look at a business's net worth, or a person's net worth because of the business they own. Oh, look, you own a building. It means you're probably a millionaire. You got $500,000 in just the building, and then you got your stocks, so your net worth. As soon as it's over $1 million, they just lose their mind.
I think, but I do want to stress this too for a lot of people. The average millionaire, we brought it up on the show before. The average salary of a millionaire in the United States is about $160,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
It is not what people think. So when you look at Loudoun County, which is the wealthiest county I think in the world, the average salary there, the median is like 150. And these people own houses that are like $20-30 million. Now those guys probably make a little bit more than that, but people need to understand it's not what they think. Millionaires aren't making $1 million a year. They would be billionaires if they're making $1 million a year.
Yeah, you want to specify the difference between mega corporations that are trying to take over the world. Left and right can agree we don't want that.
Oh.
Well, this is what you need to reposition the argument because you want small business to thrive. It's just like teach a man to fish. You want the individual to have autonomy. You want
They're not-
small businesses to be the driving force of your economy.
They don't.
So if you can inspire people to protect these smaller companies while kind of buffering against Coca-Cola, no offense, Coca-Cola, or whoever owns Coca-Cola.
No offense, Coca-Cola.
Developing the
Let me pause real quick. Coca-Cola is a wildly unhealthy drink. Do not drink it.
Well, any megacorp that wants to advertise on a network, if we can somehow invest or buffer the small businesses against that to protect our way of life, I think
they don't want to.
I have to issue a correction.
Fundamental difference is they don't want to protect our way of life. They want to destroy capitalism.
But it's also
I have to issue a correction on that. Enjoy a Coke sometimes. That's
responsibly.
Yeah, you know, like I think I had one Coke in the past. I think I had a Coca-Cola, I think like 3 months ago, and it was the first Coke I've had in probably like 7 years.
Yeah, about 7 years ago, I drank a Diet Coke. I had about this much of it, and my digestion was great. And then I had this much more, and I felt it oozing out of my pores. I was like, I'm getting sick.
Oh,
it was
Diet,
so gross.
Diet Coke is dangerous. I'm addicted to Diet Coke. There's something going on there.
Yeah.
Look, the point that I'm making, it's not that your idea in theory isn't good. It's just that the people that I'm talking about, people are just narrative driven anyways, and they're not going to care about, oh, we need to make sure that the small businesses are taken care of. The left has moved significantly away from that. The far left wants to absolutely overturn the entire system that we live under. And people that are not quite as far left, they're already bowing to the pressure from the far left.
You say that the people on the far left want to destroy business as known, just business?
Yeah,
Businesses
bro,
in
yes.
general? They want to destroy
In
business?
Seattle,
Yes.
in Portland, they intentionally go downtown in Portland and smash the windows of small businesses. That's the point. Bro, during COVID, did they shut down Walmart? No, they shut down the small businesses. Remember the lady in Jersey? We covered the story. There was a woman who had a small resale shop in North Jersey. They forced her to close. So she went on Facebook Live and said, here are the things that I have in my store. Send me a message if you want to buy them. When the cops found out she was selling products, they came, knocked on the door, and they said, ma'am, you need to close. And she goes, I am closed. And like, no, you need to stop selling products. And she was like, what? I'm closed. No one can come here. What are you talking about? Because the real purpose was not some kind of pandemic thing. It was to shut down small business.
So global corporate governance obviously is infecting people's minds through the left mindset of we the people, we the corporate, we the totality. But the reality is small business is the driving force. I mean, Ben Franklin was a small businessman. These guys are like, so we need to protect it somehow if we can control the narrative or something.
I completely agree with you, but the point that I'm making is just the left doesn't. And that's why I'm saying like what she's talking about, like the idea of tax breaks for small businesses, that's great. I'm totally, I mean, look, I'm the kind of guy that thinks we should cut taxes a lot, but we already have a progressive tax. We have the most progressive tax system in the world, regardless of what anyone else says or what people tell you. I think we should cut taxes probably significantly. I think it helped the country a lot. But the fact of the matter is, the left, when they hear, oh, we're going to cut taxes, what they hear is the corporations are getting breaks from the Republicans or from Donald Trump. Again, it's Trump helping his friends. No, we can't have it.
It's a big
This is the story from 2020 in May. It was the woman said, you guys are picking on me because I'm trying to feed my kids. She was running a Facebook Live video Tuesday night to sell some of her products when Officer Tyler Demmett came to her store at 9 p.m., about an hour into the video. He says on the video she's in violation of Murphy's order for operating her business past the 8 p.m. curfew and for her and her employee not wearing a mask. I am totally being picked on right now. You guys are picking on me because I'm trying to feed my kids. My store has been closed. I had a little fresh air. I'm not open. I'm doing a live. I have done this time and time again, and now people are picking on me. No, it's because the point was to shut the businesses down.
Yeah.
It wasn't about stopping people from coming into business because she did not let them into business.
Mm-hmm.
They are commies and wanted to destroy the businesses. I got to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the real reason blue states did this was climate change. Because remember the New York Times wrote, the earth is healing.
Mm-hmm.
We refused to shut down in 2020 and were absolutely intimidated by the health department coming in, threatening persistently. And we just said, no, we're not going to do it because then we wouldn't be able to pay our rent and feed our children. But that turned out all to just be posturing. Nothing happened. We were not fined. We were not cited. It was absolute bullying. But we were able to sell some face diapers not required shirts in our shop, so that was fun.
Where was your shop? They were so gross.
It's a clothing store and a skate shop.
Like, where was it?
Do you know Santa Cruz at all? It's a couple hours south of San Francisco. It's a small beach town. Yeah, it's where NHS is HQ'd. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like the tech capital of the world, Santa Cruz.
It is.
One of them, if not
close to it.
It's Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Oh, it's close to it. Yeah, Silicon Valley's real close, just over the hill. But yeah, we're one of the skateboarding capitals of the world for sure.
Santa Cruz skateboards.
Santa Cruz skateboards, baby.
But yeah, look, I mean, it's not that any of the ideas here floated are bad, because they actually would work and produce positive results. But you're dealing with a group of people that don't want positive results, because positive results lowers the number, or makes there fewer people that are actually upset. And the left needs people to be agitated. They need people that are angry, because angry people will go ahead and say, well, I don't have anything to lose. I'll throw a brick through this window. Happy people don't revolt. That's just the way that it is. If you have a society that's mostly, mostly very satisfied with their lives and feel good about their future, why is there a need for a revolution? You have to have at least 30% of the people that are pretty unhappy with their lives and pretty unhappy about their future to get enough people to make a critical mass of people that will be active. Because even if you have like 33% of the people that are unhappy with their lives, it's like the actual people that will take action based on that is even smaller. So, but it doesn't take a majority of the people to cause a revolution. You can do it with like 10%.
Yeah, because the other 25% of people that are pissed off they'll do nothing while the revolution happens, because they're so disenfranchised. So you need, but like, okay, diagnosing the problem: foreign interference, foreign banks, foreign corporations trying to destroy American small business to basically buy the country out. Who are they? Who are these people? Huh? If they're really, you say they on the left, the far.
I'm talking about like agitators that are people that are in the DSA, and people that are communists, and people that are looking to overthrow our system. They want to see the destruction of the capitalist system totally. So the people like talking about banks and stuff like that, they don't come into the equation, because they're the people that actually definitely want to keep our system working, because they're the ones that lend money, they're the ones that have the capital, they're the ones that can lend money to business owners and stuff like that. The people that want to destroy the system that we live in are people that are communists, people on the far left. They're people that don't really have anything to lose.
But I think the banks would be happy to loan us money to rebuild our nuclear devastation after a war, like the way they loaned to Germany after World War II.
I don't know that a revolution here would be a nuclear war.
But they would love to loan us money just to rebuild our cities, because we destroyed them from idiocy. They'd be happy to see us rip ourselves apart, I think.
The thing is, the destruction of like the American way of life isn't about destroying buildings and creating rubble. It's about overturning who's in authority. And they want the people, and when I say they, I mean like communists. They want to take the positions.
Russia doesn't want the U.S. to die or China to die. They want them to be curtailed so that they have authority over the global economic system. But all of these major nations want each other to exist because they serve each other.
Yeah, they want the U.S. to be neutered so that their dollars aren't potent.
Well, the idea is Russia wants to get rich and have us do work for them at a weaker rate. It really just comes down to who's going to be doing the cheaper work, right? Russia says, we want the United States to provide labor for us at 70 cents on the dollar. And the U.S. says, no, Russia's going to provide for us at 70 cents on the dollar. When the U.S. dominates global energy pathways, they can then go to every country and say, you work by our rules now.
Do you think that robots supplanting the workforce will solve a lot of these problems?
Oh, I think it's going to get substantially worse with the Optimus bots coming in. The one thing I can say is it's fascinating that the Democrat solution was open the borders. The Trump solution is close the borders. Hey, Elon Musk. The Democrats were after Elon Musk. They did not like him. So Elon's building these Optimus bots. We've got the new spaceport up in Louisiana. SpaceX stock is going to go nuts. It's going to go nuts. These lefties are stupid. Let me tell you. Elon says, I'm going to buy Twitter. And they were like, uh-oh. So they all sold their Tesla shares at $300, dropping Tesla down to 113 or whatever. And then I'm sitting there watching the news, covering the news, and I'm like, Tesla as a company has done nothing to warrant the stock loss. So I bought a ton of Tesla stock. And then within like 6 months, boom, back to 300. Because these people are dumb and are buying stocks based on emotion. So SpaceX launches their IPO. They're talking about, what are they doing? 10 Starships a month or some stupid number?
They want to do 10 a day.
A day?
I thought it was
Day.
three.
Oh my God.
3.3
Well, that was me guessing. I just read something on there that his ultimate goal is to have like 10 starships flying a day. You have to move a lot of material into space to be able to build an actual sustainable colony on the moon and then Mars, right? Like you need a boatload of like just mega tonnage. And you have to put a lot of rockets into space to do that. So if you watch the announcement, the announcement video that SpaceX put out today, the flight frequency that Musk is talking about is just insane. So it probably won't all just be from Louisiana. You're gonna have SpaceX, what's it called, Starbase in Texas. They might be launching out of Florida, but he's gonna be launching a lot of rockets. And when I say a lot, it's like going to be far beyond what most people would assume.
Let me just put it like this. Bitcoin. All of these people for years were like, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it, don't buy it. Heads of banks were saying, don't buy it. A lot of people bought it. Most people didn't. Today, there were viral videos where a guy, he's in like Times Square and he goes, he said, if I could give you $10,000 or one Bitcoin right now, what would you take? They go, oh, $10,000. A Bitcoin is 80 grand. It's like 78.5 right now. I just checked. But these people don't even know what it is. These big bankers were saying, don't buy it. And then when the price kept going up and the patterns were visible and the market was expanding, they started buying it.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, most of these people in every space, they're wrong about everything. Most people are wrong about everything.
I think that Jamie Dimon was lying. I think they were telling people don't do it, and then
so they can buy it up.
And then they buy it up.
This is what they do. They'll intentionally tank the market, tell everybody it's over. And you always see it in the media. They'll be like, this is it for Bitcoin. The electricity is too expensive. And then people start dumping in panic. And then once it goes down, it was at 120,000. It goes down to 60. They all start buying it back up. And now it's at 80 again. And now the estimates are like, oh, well, if you actually watch the market pattern, it's going to go up to 200,000 within the next year or whatever.
Maybe it's less likely that Jamie Dimon was lying when he said, don't do Bitcoin. It's not good. But maybe it's more likely that he knows people in the government. They're like, hey, Jamie, now's the time.
I believe that they all sold the top at 120. And then said, this is it, Bitcoin's over, we sold. And then everyone panic sells, and they go, oh, actually, and they buy it back up and double their holding.
It's so easy to do. It's supposed to be illegal, I think. There's a term for that when you rock the market like that.
Well, if you are manipulating the market intentionally by going on big shows and lying, but there's ways to do it legally and just say, if they were to say, we're going to liquidate a certain portion because we think we're at the top and it might go down, and that's true. Then when it goes down, they say, see, we were right. We want to reinvest in our opportunity. But they cause it to go down.
It's like if you got a bowl of water and you're sloshing it to the left and to the right, all the water that's spilling over is being caught in a larger bowl underneath. That's the price of Bitcoin going up to the price of gold going up to the price of Bitcoin. They sell off high, they buy back low and sell off high and buy back low and sell off high. And all those little, what collects goes to Switzerland.
Saying, in reference to like everything we're talking about, just think about how in 2015, everybody was saying you're stupid for buying Bitcoin. And then there were people who bought at 20,000, they mortgaged their houses to buy Bitcoin. And then when it dropped to 10, they panic sold, being like, oh no, I've lost everything. And then 5 years later, it jumps up to some stupid number. Or I think, what was it, like 2023 or 24, it hit 128 or some stupid number.
Yeah, no, I remember.
And if those people just did not, there was one story that was really funny. A guy did mortgage his house. And then when the price dropped, he was like, I don't know, what am I going to do, I guess. And then when it hit 120K, he cashed out like some stupid amount of money, like $60 million. And he was like, I'm good. I'm done. But my point is not to say buy Bitcoin or anything. My point is everyone was saying the wrong thing. Every single person was saying the wrong thing. You're stupid. You're buying fake. It doesn't even make sense. And then people got rich.
there were people in the tech world that knew, at least they understood the value of it, that it was an immutable currency with some form of
Right. I get it. My point is just,
I was surrounded by people.
You're going to hear people in the news. You're going to hear people in your daily life. They're going to tell you you're wrong about something, and ignore them.
Yeah, especially when it's going out on a limb, taking a risk, and everybody's shaming you for being stupid. That's a good indication that you might be onto something.
Or screwed. It really could go either way. Sometimes when people tell you you're stupid, it's because you're actually stupid. You know? Let's jump to the story from NBC News. Hey, it's politics. Abdul El Sayed distances himself from Hassan Piker's comments on Israel and Jewish Americans. Oh no. What did he say this time? All right, let's pull it up. Hassan Piker, Jews. I typed that in. Here we go. Here's the video in question. What everybody's being told, you got to back off this guy. This is what. Let me get the audio. Make sure it's working.
And you want to know why? Because people don't fuck with Israel any longer. And if Jews in America keep putting this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews.
That's a threat.
Okay? Yeah. We're teaching people the wrong lesson. I don't know how people don't recognize how dangerous this predicament is, how dangerous this is for Jews.
Wow.
You're running around basically tying your entire identity to a country that inevitably will be seen as basically Jewish ISIS. And you're saying, as Jews, this is all we care about. You're making anti-Semitism worse.
Now, here's the important thing to understand. If I said on this show, if American Jews attach their identity just to Israel, the way things are going in this country with people like Hassan, someone is going to attack them. I actually agree with the surface level sentiment. People like Hassan and his followers in that video were not expressing what I just expressed. My point is, I don't care about Israel. If you're Jewish, I don't care if you like or don't like Israel. That's fine. You can have your politics, whatever. I got my criticisms. It's fine. But I do think these lunatics are going to start attacking people. And you can see the threats. Now, the issue is Hassan is one of the preeminent espousers of this anti-Israel and Jew stuff. When his followers are saying it's going to get dangerous, they're not saying, I'm worried what those wackaloon anti-Semites are going to do. They're literally saying, me and my friends are getting fed up.
Yeah, there's a difference between a warning and a threat. And it's a lot about the way you say it and how you outline it. Because if I say, if you step over the line, you're going to get your legs like that's obviously a threat, that I'm threatening you that if you do this, something's going to happen to you. As opposed to, hey, just so you know, if you step over that line, it will break your legs. That's a warning. So,
well, let's put it like this. He's somewhere in between.
But let's put it like this. Let's say Ian is known to walk around with a ball-peen hammer striking people in the kneecaps. And then he says, hey, you best watch out. You cross that line, someone might smash your kneecap with a ball-peen hammer.
Or you're
going to be like, yeah, he's threatening me. Now, let's say I'm standing next to Ian, and I go, bro, watch out.
Yeah.
That guy might smack your knee with a ball-peen hammer.
Yes.
This is the difference. Hassan and his crew, they go on their shows like his followers. They say these things all day, every day. Then he comes out and says, you better be careful because someone's going to do something. Now, ultimately, I would say the point is we have a problem in this country. I was debating with Nick Freitas the other night. With respect, he's a brilliant guy. I'm a big fan. But I disagree. I think we got too much into semantics. My point on the Constitution, I say laws don't exist, the Constitution doesn't exist. It's not that we as a people in the United States don't have one, it's not being used. That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying that Hassan Piker does not like this country, wants to destroy this country. The DSA, a third of the Democratic Party, wants to abolish the Constitution outright. They don't abide by it. Federal judges have been issuing rulings contradicting the Constitution for a decade. So these people do not operate under the Constitution until we force them to, and they are growing and getting more and more powerful. So we have a subversive element in this country, and I fear they are going to start attacking people.
Let me steel man Hassan's perspective, because I actually brought this up a couple weeks ago, that people in the United States, Jewish people that are Americans, refer to themselves as Jewish Americans. Maybe they refer to themselves as American Jews. If I go to their Instagram page, are they waving Israeli flags? Because they're Americans, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. So that concerns me. I'm not saying it's going to bring violence down on their heads, but I'm saying it concerns me if an American citizen waves the flag of a foreign nation fervently over and over and over again.
Ukraine.
It's bizarre.
It's fine if an American.
They don't talk about Ukraine, do they?
The American Ukrainians
Hassan
were
Piker
here.
supported that the president of Ukraine went to our Congress and they all waved Ukrainian flags. So their argument about Israel makes no sense. Now, the argument about Israel as a military state attacking another country, those criticisms are fine. But the arguments about, you can't have people in this country waving a flag of a foreign nation, that's crazy. Then the dude goes on his show and says, let's give money, let's give $200 billion. Hassan Piker says, let's give Ukraine 50 times the money we give Israel. And our Congress will wave their flags. He's full of it.
It's fine if your average American citizen waves a flag of another country. It's fine. The problem is if people that are elected to Congress or that are in the government are doing it. We shouldn't have dual citizens in Congress. We shouldn't have people that aren't born in the United States, like non-citizens that are not born in the U.S. in Congress. But
PACs that advocate for foreign governments should be far regardless of which country it is. I don't think you get to just be like, I'm an American advocating for a foreign country, therefore I don't got to be far. No, you're advocating for a far. You're a foreign agent. Get out of here. Go away.
Yeah.
But the point ultimately is they are not consistent. I can say it like this. I do not think the U.S. should be funding Israel, especially as they're getting us involved in these stupid wars. They're bombing Lebanon when Trump's trying to negotiate with Iran, screwing everything up. They're bombing Syria, which is now affecting a NATO partner, Turkey, who's trying to also move in the region, disrupting our negotiations with Syria. And I'm pissed about that. And I'm also pissed about us dumping 50x the money into Ukraine. Now, there's an argument about the U.S. interests, casus belli. If the U.S. can make proper arguments for war, I'd like to see them. I don't think they have. These people do not share that consistency. When I say I do not want to fund foreign countries' wars, I mean it. When Hassan says it, he's only talking about Israel. When Ukraine came up, he literally mocked me for saying the military-industrial complex is goading us into wars. It wants to maximize profits on these things. And he's like, yeah, of course. And then I said, see, I even agree with Hassan Piker on this. That's why I don't want $200 billion going to Ukraine. He immediately reverses course and says, yo, what? This dude thinks, oh, Ukraine, you're on your own, boy. Like, that's crazy, man. He's just saying that he's opposed to the military-industrial complex so that people like you go, well, I agree. But when I say it, I mean all countries. I don't care if it's Afghanistan, South Sudan, whatever it may be. I don't like that they're dumping the SPR for this war in Iran. He's only talking about Israel.
Do you think that the Democrat Party goes this way? I mean, I feel like if Hassan Piker continues on this streak, it's good for us for the midterms.
Absolutely. I think the reason we got to be careful about this too. The reason woke might be coming back might be a Republican play. The WNBA stuff, the trans issue moved the needle heavy. If you're a Republican right now, I'm gonna give you some sage advice. If I'm advising a Republican on how to win, I'm going to be like, oh, you're cooked. The economy sucks. Yeah. You got an unpopular war. You need to change the conversation.
It's a culture.
You need a scapegoat. Let's talk about weird woke stuff. Let's get costumes banned again. Then start scaring people. Remember COVID lockdowns? Remember how they were firing you from your job because you made an off-color joke you saw on TV one time? I'll give you a really good example of this. Count Dankula. He made a joke video where he taught his pug to lift its paw as a Nazi pug. And he got arrested for it. Graham Linehan mocked him for it and called him a Nazi. Graham Linehan, who made the show Father Ted, had a joke in Father Ted where there's a piece of tape on the window and the priest looking out the window sees some Asian guys walking. And he's like, what are they doing? He's like, no. And he starts waving his arms. And then they see him with the little Hitler mustache, waving his arms and throwing his arms around. And his hair is shaking like he's Hitler. And I told this to Graham, who's since apologized. But what was so crazy about the woke era, I said, you know what's really sad about that story is that Dank probably made that joke inspired by you. You were the guy who did the Nazi jokes on Father Ted. He's the younger guy who watched that on TV and thought you were funny and wanted to be like you. And then when he did, you mocked him for getting arrested for it. That is the terrifying reality of what woke was. You invoke that memory in people, you'll earn some points in the midterm elections.
Yeah,
That's a good point. It's a correlative reality. It doesn't prove, of course, that that's a tactic, but that would be an interesting tactic.
I gotta be
Horrible
honest.
time.
Like,
I mean, that's what's going on, right? That's the culture war in a nutshell.
well, I think the first culture war was emergent. It starts with Gamergate. They made a what was it? A purple-haired paraplegic woman? No, I'm sorry, a purple-haired amputee in Battlefield, and other weird things like that.
Oh.
And people were like, "I'm playing a World War I video game. There's no amputee purple-haired woman fighting in these wars." And then the left was just like, "It's a video game. It's fantasy. Who cares?" Now they're, oh man, I hear like the HBO Harry Potter is doing bad, but I don't know. I don't really care. They're allowed to have it. But they make like Black Snake. The first time it comes around, people like me and my friends, I mean, granted, this is 14 years ago, right? So I'm in my 20s. You know what I mean? I'm in my mid-20s being like, why are they ruining my like I'm going to tell you something, guys. Do you know what who Green Lantern is?
Yep.
Yes.
Green Lantern.
Vaguely.
Can you name the Green Lantern?
Which one?
The Green Lantern.
Hal Jordan.
Hal
Guy
Jordan. What was the
Gardner?
first Green Lantern?
Was it Guy Gardner? Was he the first?
No, it was Alan Scott.
Okay.
And let me tell you about Alan Scott was the first Green Lantern. And trust me, everybody, it's very important with the new show Lanterns out. Alan Scott just had a magic ring, and it wasn't really space stuff. It was just like a magic ring. And then eventually they were like, let's make it something different. So they made it the core, and they made it outer space, and that's Hal Jordan, right? So there have been, I think, 8. I think there are 8 right now. The 8th. So you had Hal Jordan. He was an Air Force pilot, fearless. Abin Sur gave him the ring. Do you have fear? Are you afraid? No. And Hal Jordan's a white guy. Then we had, I think, we had Guy Gardner was second, I think, or I'm sorry, third. Alan Scott, then Hal Jordan, then Guy Gardner, and Guy Gardner's a great character. The fourth was John Stewart, and this is back in like, what was this? Got to be like the 80s or something, or even earlier than that. And he was like a black Marine, and no one really cared. I mean, as far as I could tell, like, John Stewart was a great Green Lantern. I loved him in the comics and the cartoons. So do you want to take a guess at the identity and the lifestyle of the current Green Lantern?
Gay?
Yes.
No, lesbian.
Lesbian?
Sure.
Close. It's a bisexual
Woman with one of these.
Sojourner Mulane, a bisexual African American woman, is the new character.
Okay.
This is the kind of stuff that people are just like, what?
Yeah.
It's just whoever gets the ring gets to be Green Lantern.
No, you're chosen if you're fearless and you have great willpower. The point is, I don't care about a black character like John Stewart. He's a great character. It doesn't matter if he's black. And there's a funny video, a viral video I saw from this podcast. There's a bunch of black dudes where they had a quiz. Name a superhero who doesn't have black in their name or electric powers. And nobody could do it because, like, for some reason, most black superheroes have electricity powers or black in their name. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of black superheroes that don't. But a lot of them do. And John Stewart, as Green Lantern, was one of the iterations of Green Lantern that doesn't have electrical powers, or he's not called Black Green Lantern. But when they start doing these things, people are like, hey, this is creepy and weird. So the first culture war was like, stop doing this. Then people started losing their jobs. You said a naughty word, you're fired. Shane Gillis gets fired for SNL for doing an Asian stereotype, even though comedians do it all the time. Sarah Silverman got fired from a movie because years prior, when everyone thought it was funny, she did blackface as a gag. That was the real culture war. Now, what I think is happening is we've largely crushed woke. I do fear it will come back if Democrats win, but I think the Republicans want it to come back right now a little bit because they want to freak people out, invoke that memory, and then use that to earn points when they don't have anything good to say about the economy.
That would be a woke vaccination. Sorry.
Well, and the Democrats know it too. I mean, AOC was just talking about how woke one was too insane, and she was one of the pioneers of woke one. Yeah.
Phil made this point last week. Ask her which ideologies from woke one she currently disagrees with, and there's none. She agrees with literally everything.
Also, that was a very subversive way of her to phrase that. Saying woke one assumes that there is more than one.
Yeah.
Which
oh
is
yeah,
implies
she's
woke
priming us
too.
for woke
Kinda like
too.
a
We
threat,
had.
yeah, for
Did you
woke
guys
too.
know that we were just living in the glory days without woke because it didn't seem that great? But
What year?
well, after woke 1, so 2022 to now, I guess. But we're getting.
Well, I got to be
woke
honest.
2.
Aftermath.
Shane Gillis is selling out stadiums, so it'll be really difficult.
Kill
for him.
Tony is off the charts popular.
Super offensive too. And
The kids are offensive. The kids are so offensive. I just spent a month with my nieces and nephews, and their algorithms are just like, even for me, I'm like, whoa, guys, this is a lot.
did you see? I forgot the guy's name. We shouted him out when he did the bit. He was on Kill Tony, and he said he was like, "Man, I had heard, because I don't follow the news a lot, that they had this rave in Israel, this like big dance party." And then my friends were like, "Did you see what happened? Like all those dudes were paragliding in," and I was like, "Oh, cool, man!" Like, because he didn't like. If you don't know what that was, and then he ramped it up as offensive as he could, and he was like, he did a machine gun joke. Yeah, you're offensive. It's a lot. You're allowed to. Be
Yeah,
offensive.
you're allowed to be offensive.
But so the key
That
is
was a good one.
Don't become cruel, because what'll happen is you have the opportunity. Woke is stomped now, and it's like mercy. You have to give it mercy. If you slaughter and just become, that's how it wins. That's how it gains in strength. Is if you become evil. If you become like devastating.
I don't. What do you mean?
Like the woke is begging for mercy right now.
I don't
so you
agree.
need
You mean
to.
what?
You
What
need
does
to
that
give
mean?
it mercy.
I disagree with
What are
that.
you talking about?
It's not wrong.
Who's begging for mercy?
The whole woke industry. The young people have had it, dude. They saw it.
They just banned a costume. What are you
Yeah,
talking
they're
about?
back, baby.
That's a minor infraction.
They just had to pull down their golf club commercial because a woman fell on the ground.
5 years ago, Target wouldn't have pulled it, and they would have doubled down and tripled down and quadrupled
Whoa,
down
whoa,
on
what?
the weird
No, that's
racist. They had
No, they would have fired
Dylan
17
Mulvaney
people. Are
drinking-
you joking?
No, they were intentionally making stuff like that 5 years ago, and they were trying to sell it and tell people it was normal, like weird outfits for little.
What?
It's a Sambo outfit, dude. He looks like a minstrel. Someone just missed it.
Ian, at peak woke, if they released that, they would have fired 7 people. They would have come out and done a public press conference, mea culpa.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
I do know.
Yeah.
It's like it
We
can.
watched it, dude. What
don't-
are you talking about?
I remember when
They were
YouTube,
intentionally
I remember
feeding us
looking at the
racist stuff.
analytics on YouTube on May 1st when they intentionally nuked every channel that was calling this stuff out.
But they would be like, they'd give you a racist thing. They'd be like, it's not racist. It's racist of you to complain about it. And then they try and sell you these weird kids with jock.
Ian,
Like
you are
tight-
not, you are from a different dimension. This is a Mandela thing going on?
I think it's
Did you
a
not
Mandela
live
thing.
during the woke era? When the Netflix executive got fired for explaining what racial slurs were to his staff? A Netflix executive was telling staff, these are bad words we don't want on Netflix. And they fired him for it because he said the word.
But like, okay, remember with the tucking things you were saying, teaching little kids to tuck their genitals or whatever to be
Yes,
a transish. They were intentionally selling. That's like weird.
That's not racism.
sexist.
That's woke. They were selling products for woke people. They were putting the black pride, the Progress Pride flag with the black stripe on it. They weren't selling Sambo costumes.
But
It's
I think
crazy
it'll
to me that
turn-
like
wokeism will turn on a culture and use it as its whipping boy, and so it can force sell you like garbage like that. Sorry,
No, it can't. What are you talking
woke
about?
is about getting you to hate the other. It's so it doesn't really matter who your target is.
I would agree with that to a certain respect, but just to clarify, they were not selling anything remotely racist during woke. They were using that against people. That was their weapon.
Don't you think the tucking stuff? It wasn't racist. It was sexist.
It was pro-trans.
Yeah, sexist.
That's not
No,
sexism.
Weird,
Sam.
like forcing sexuality on people.
it's
no.
it's not.
That's
not
part of the whole thing. That's why the pride flag added a black and brown stripe.
Yeah, it's
because
their
it's
virtue
encompassing
signal.
black people and gay people in the same group, and anything that
Right.
opposes them or stands in their way, they would get fired or canceled.
It was virtue signaling. And if they had been like, no, we're not taking this down because we support the young black man's right to dress up like a Sambo clown, that would
That's
be them
never
virtue
happened.
signaling, and they're not virtue signaling.
That's not what they did. They got rid of Aunt Jemima, they got rid of Uncle Ben, and they got rid of the Land O'Lakes Native American.
Because they're saying, okay, fine, I will be told when I am being racist, and you're the one who's allowed to define me as racist, and I'm sorry for it.
Yeah, I have a different recollection of what woke was like than you
What
do.
were you doing during that era? Were you
Drugs.
Screaming about it night after
He was
night.
sitting. He was at my house the whole time.
Course
He
correcting.
knew exactly what was going on.
But I don't know, man. I believe it goes deeper than. It's not. I don't know, man.
All right, let's jump to this next story from Mediaite. This one's got me, got my gears all grinded up. Signaling to the tribe, Joe Rogan calls out J.D. Vance for odd demons claim from their interview. Now, this one really grinds my gears. Okay, I don't know if they have the timestamp on this one.
And he kind of laughed very uncomfortably because he didn't know what to say.
I think, with all due respect to Mr. Vance, who I really like as a person, I think he's a very nice guy. I think he's signaling to the tribe.
It is. It's a political polemic. You're not looking at the data. Like he says, oh, I want to look into the UFO issue. I just haven't had the time. I actually understand that. There's a lot going on in the world, but it's also, you've had some time. So maybe, go look into it. But
I kind of understand it, but kind of don't.
I'm with you. I'd be the first thing.
Plenty of time to go to church. Like, listen, bro, look into it.
Look into it. Exactly.
To quote Eddie Bravo, look into it.
They're referring specifically to J.D. Vance referring to aliens as maybe demons. American Alchemy podcast host Jesse Michaels joined Rogan at one point in the interview. The issue of Vance came up, specifically his thoughts on aliens possibly being demons. He didn't really have a good explanation for that. I pressed him on that, and he kind of laughed very uncomfortably because he didn't know what to say. I think that with all due respect to Mr. Vance, who I like as a person, I think he's a very nice guy. I think he's signaling to the tribe. I don't necessarily disagree, but when Rogan says I don't understand it, that is where I'm floored, because this is a single paragraph thing to read on the internet or from any tweet. And the issue of aliens and demons has been extremely prominent in the UFO conversation for the past 5 years. And that is whether they are aliens from another planet or the things we're experiencing are otherworldly entities of negative influence, i.e. demons, we don't know. Christians who have a Christian theological worldview would argue what you think are aliens, you have been convinced, are actually demons. They are what we define as demons. Malicious, malevolent entities that they are whispering in your ear, something to that effect. It's not particularly difficult to understand, and I don't understand how Joe has missed this, because it's such an interesting element of the conspiracy, the cover-up, the question of what's really going on. Guys, I watch so much weird flat earth dumb stuff. I just absolutely love watching all of the conspiracy stuff, the hollow earth, the flat earth, the Agartha, the ice wall. It's fun. How do you miss this one? This is another really big one. That there's a firmament. The earth is flat, and what you think are aliens are in fact demons.
But I think they're demons and angels, the aliens. They got
Indeed. No,
personalities.
that's actually the argument. That what people think are aliens are actually just people experiencing either a manifestation of an angel or a demon.
I'll say I don't like, I guess I would call it superstition, but I have met what looked like alien life forms through DMT. It wasn't just a trip. Like, I've tripped on acid, I've tripped on mushrooms. It was like a full-on 10-minute conversation with beings,
What were
with
their
personalities.
names?
What's that?
What were their names?
I never asked.
Why?
What were the
I
conversations
just wanted to know if they were God. What's that?
What were the
That's rude.
conversations about?
I asked one of them, "Are you God?" And he went, "No." And I was like, "What is God?"
He
And
laughed?
He laughed because so many people think that
What
they're
did he look
gods.
like?
It was kind of like my dad's body, but all I saw was a shimmering white, purple, all the colors of the rainbow shimmering in a hominid body form. And he was like man, full adult male. And then the other one was adult female, and then the other one was like young man. It was these three energy forms of like feminine, masculine, child.
What did they say they were?
What's that?
What did they say they were?
When I asked it, what is God? He said, we don't know, but we think it's this. And he put his hands out, and all of a sudden it showed me a vortex, like a spiraling galaxy. I was like, okay. He's like, we think it's the vortex. We don't know.
The vortex?
Yeah, the function of a vortex, reversing entropy, pulling things together, binding atoms together, this force.
Seems just too rudimentary.
You know, he didn't know either. He's like, I don't know. We don't know, but I don't know. We're working with them to figure it out, maybe.
Maybe you were talking to entities beyond the simulation.
Maybe you were on drugs.
DMT is not a drug. That's the thing. Drug means dried herb.
Sounds like
DMT
drugs.
Your body makes it. I was just inhibiting the inhibitor, basically.
Inhibiting the inhibitor?
Yeah, well, I was actually dosing DMT, but with like ayahuasca, they inhibit They destroy the inhibitor's ability to stop you from tripping because your normal state is balls tripping, seeing frequencies.
You've got it confused. With ayahuasca, the inhibitor is to stop your body from destroying it and passing it through. It binds to it so that it can enter your system and go into your brain.
I don't want to speak out of turn because I need the chemistry in front of me. But as far as I know, the ayahuasca, the compilation of plants that they make the ayahuasca with, causes your body to stop inhibiting the DMT trip, as opposed to just smoking a bunch of DMT and overriding your ability to stop it.
No. When you smoke it, it goes straight into your blood through your lungs. When you eat it, your body can't process it through your digestive tract
because it destroys it.
Or passes it.
Yeah, right. But then the ayahuasca makes it not destroy it.
When they mix them together, one inhibits and allows it to go into your body and be absorbed.
So it's like, it's silly to say there's no angels and demons. Like, I don't like I said earlier, superstition, but
it's you don't like superstition, but it's silly to say that there's no angels.
Because I personally experienced it. I still wouldn't call them angels and demons. I mean, they're are you a demon? If you're mean to me, I could be like, you demon, but I'm like, no, what? You're you know?
DMT is broken down by monoamine oxidase in the gut and liver.
Yes, and
the ayahuasca vine, Banisteriopsis caapi, contains MAO inhibiting beta carbolines, such as harmaline. It temporarily inhibits the enzyme monoamine oxidase, allowing DMT to become psychoactive.
That's it. Monoamine oxidase destroys DMT in the gut, but then
if you smoke it, it doesn't happen.
You're saying?
So do you think that you agree with conservative Christians that drugs are a portal to demons?
No, it's too vague of a phrase because drug literally is translated from dried herb, drueg. It's an old French word.
Ian, please,
so
no semantics.
DMT is not a drug. That's the thing. But
it
no, I don't think any chemical immediately.
Okay, taking psychoactive stuff.
Meth is not a drug, Ian. Meth isn't a drug because it's not an herb.
MDMA. You're talking about crystal meth.
You're arguing semantics to avoid the question, and she asked you a question.
It's a vague phrase,
well,
but okay,
a lot of Christians think that. A lot of Christians say don't do drugs, don't touch that stuff because it's a portal into the demonic realm. And it sounds like you might agree.
They call alcohol spirits.
Oh, I think he was talking to demons. I don't.
Wouldn't call them demons. They were waiting for me to give them the cue. Like, are they going to be evil or good? It's up to me when I meet them. If you're afraid of them, they become horrific, and if you're kind with them...
You're presuming that all interactions with the demons are going to be anything but charismatic.
Well,
why would the demon come to you as a grotesque nightmare creature screaming in your face?
Because you're afraid.
Why would it do that? It's not going to get anything from you if it does.
No, it takes on your perception.
Listen, Ian, demons want things, right? Are they going to get a thing from you by going... Or are they going to appear as a glowing, beautiful creature saying, we'll answer any question you want, Ian. We'll give you the secrets.
It might be like, there's a thing to be afraid of. I'm here to protect you. It might do that.
Of course. It's exactly what it would do.
It might just
and so you'll
dominate
find
you.
Beautiful glowing, and he's like, no, look, we're not God. Just, you can ask us anything, we'll tell you. And then they'll lie to you, and you believe it.
My experience with psychoactive drugs is that it does make you more spiritually vulnerable. And if we're going to believe that there's a God and that there is such a thing as good, and for me it's Jesus, then it makes sense that you are also going to be vulnerable to evil.
Yeah, I've been in a lot about detox right now because literally alcohol, they call them spirits, and it is psychoactive. Alcohol is psychoactive.
Oh, yes, it is.
A portal to some spiritual entity that is the bacteria that feasts off of it, the candida in it. I don't know if it's like microorganisms controlling your thoughts. And so we're like, oh, that's the demon, it's the biological chemistry.
I like that theory.
But not that every chemical, because at what point do you define something as a chemical and now it's a drug, or before it was
everything that's not an any collection of elements that are bound together is some kind of chemical.
Right.
Water's a chemical.
So, for instance, if you ate the marijuana plant out of nature, it's just a plant growing in the ground.
Like a drug is a chemical or a substance that changes how the body or mind works.
Well, that would be sugar. I mean, that would be water.
Sugar does not change how the body or mind works. No, come on, dude.
I mean, have you looked into the psychoactive nature
done with
of
this,
sugar,
bro.
dude?
I'm not wasting time on a semantic
Okay,
debate.
then you give me some examples of what that is. There's a lot of chemicals that can change the way the mind works that aren't drugs.
Yes, they are. You're arguing semantics for no reason. It's not meaningful and nobody wants to hear it.
You're saying sugar doesn't change the way you think?
It does not.
Where did you... I mean, look it up, dude. It's a psychoactive, bro. Am I crazy here?
I am going to say it again.
Sugar is psychoactive. Let's pull it up.
So what does Joe mean signaling to the tribe?
It means that J.D. Vance has heard people say aliens are demons.
Oh.
He's repeating it, but doesn't understand.
Oh, he doesn't believe that?
And I don't think that's unfair of Joe to say, because if Vance could not explain what it means, then he may be signaling to the tribe.
Yeah.
But the idea that Joe afterwards said, I don't kind of understand, I kind of do, but I don't, that's where I'm like, come on. Joe, you know, I'm not going to put the weight of the world on his shoulders. I got to know everything. But Joe's the kind of guy I expect to be like, let me explain that the aliens are demons.
Yeah, right.
He's the guy.
He
You know
used
what I
to
mean?
be.
So legally, sugar is not a drug. Obviously, we know that it's considered a food, but it does cause the brain to release opioids and dopamine.
It doesn't change how it works. It just makes your brain release something. Changing how it works rewires it or blocks something. Caffeine is a drug.
Causing it to release a chemical
Ian,
is changing it.
Everyone knows what the word drug means, and you arguing semantics is a waste of
I
everyone's
think most
time.
people don't know where the word comes
Who
from.
cares?
Eating food.
You're speaking a common
Just said
language
they know,
to
and
convey ideas.
I say I don't think they do, and you're like, well, who cares?
Ian, eating food changes the way that your brain works.
And
Because
some foods
if you're
more than others.
well,
But it
the
doesn't
point-
change the way your brain
It doesn't
works.
change your
Hold on,
perception.
You
No,
just said
food
eating
does
food-
not.
So you guys are arguing now.
No, we're not.
You just
We
said
are,
food
because
changes
you
the way your
just
brain
agreed with
works, and you
Ian.
said, but it doesn't
Eating-
change the way your
no,
brain works.
Eating food does not change what your brain does.
No,
it
no,
makes your
it
brain do something.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Drugs
doesn't-
will. Oh my God,
Dude,
Ian,
you just
are you
got
this?
him to cow, dude. Of course it changes the way your brain works.
No.
No, it doesn't.
So like, if you're in a
let's just go
bad
real slow.
mood-
If I have a box and when I click a button, a chicken comes out, and then I put fuel in it and press a button and a chicken comes out, it did not change what the box does. If I then dump bleach in it and press a button and a dead chicken comes out, that is changing the way
Or if
the
the
box
way
works.
the chicken comes out faster, or if two chickens come out, there's a lot of ways you
It
can
is still a
change.
function of the thing. Its normal pace is 1 chicken per day. Dude, this is why people complain. She asked you a question. You know what she was asking you, but instead of just having a conversation, you started talking about mumbo jumbo.
I mean, the simple answer to do I think drugs open gates to spirits or demons is no. Because
was an
I
easy
can't-
answer,
I
wasn't
can't answer it properly.
You could.
Like, I could say I can't answer that question and then just be done with it. I'm trying to clarify the question so that I can answer it.
Most normal humans can answer the question.
Because most normal humans don't think beyond their fucking hand, dude.
No, because they understand colloquial English. That means there is a common understanding of what a word means, and they don't say, please define every instant of every word every single
Let's
time.
talk about caffeine. I don't think caffeine
Caffeine's a
opens
drug.
portals to demons.
It is a drug.
But I think MDMA
You know
might.
that she's referring to psychoactives.
Caffeine's a psychoactive drug.
No, I'm sorry, psychedelics.
Well, it's psychoactive. Psychedelic's like a hardcore psychoactive.
You were asking about psychedelic drugs.
She just
Like
used a drug.
drugs that we learned about in, come on, Ian, drugs that we learned about in health class don't do drugs.
Like weed, like marijuana. I mean, you have cannabinoid receptors in your body for a reason. I think that's like William Randolph
You know
Hearst.
what I meant, Ian.
Are you talking about weed?
No, I'm just talking about psychoactive psychedelics, the group of drugs that we're taught not to do.
Weed
The
is
hallucinogenics.
psychoactive. That's weed is psychoactive. It's a psychoactive drug.
Right.
It's like the most common.
So we're not
psychoactive.
talking about meth, which wires you, or coke, which wires you. She's clearly talking about DMT and LSD and psilocybin. She's talking about tripping and experiencing things, not being wired by caffeine, having a cup of coffee in the morning.
From that perspective, then I think demons are ever present. That the malevolent energy fields can move through you at will. So you're more aware of them when you're open higher frequencies, but not that it like. And you might say just seeing the demon makes you more demonic, but also you may be able to witness and understand it from a distance by seeing it, and then override it and know how to counter it because you've experienced it. So I don't know if it's like creates possession necessarily. I don't think it necessarily does.
I think there's a good chance that JD Vance is earnest. I don't think he's just signaling.
Well, he should have explained to Joe what it means, because Joe needs to know.
Yeah.
And if he did know, Joe wouldn't be saying, "I don't quite understand it."
I mean, yeah. I mean,
So someone needs, and then this other guy, this frustrates me. Jesse Michaels joining in, being like, "Look up the data, man. Talk about it." It's like he's laughing, they're laughing, and he's like, he should have looked into it. And my response is, if someone says aliens are demons and they have on this show, I'm like, what do you mean by that? What does that mean? Like, explain it to me. I don't understand. And then they explain to me, and I go, oh, okay. Like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And but to be fair, I've been having these conversations for 20 years. I had a conversation with Mike Cernovich and Alex Jones. And we were talking about DMT trips and demons, and Cernovich was explaining very much, these are demons.
Maybe
you are meeting entities who are trying to trick you. You are not supposed to communicate with them. It is not natural that you can communicate with them. And when you meet them, they're trying to make you do things you're not supposed to do.
It might be addiction is a demon tricking you into thinking you want something.
I mean, I'm in recovery. I'm a recovering alcoholic personally. I haven't talked about that publicly, but I'm in a recovery community, and a lot of people equate addiction to spiritual death and talk about their addiction in terms of meeting something close to the devil.
Look, man, everybody, anytime the word Marlboro comes up in conversation, I want to have a cigarette. I haven't had a cigarette since 2019. I am still like addicted to cigarettes. It's not the same type of addiction that doesn't tend to ruin your life from day to day, but
I can't understand that. Part of me wants to start smoking just to understand what that's like.
I don't recommend it.
It's subtle. It comes up and you're like, oh, I could go for another one of that. It's like 20 days later. It's so weird.
Smoking Marlboros is the greatest.
Yeah, I maybe have like a glass of wine once a year on special occasions or something. My brother quit smoking one day. He decided to do it. Just stopped. And like, I kind of think I'd do the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
literally, Chris is just like, I'm not going to smoke anymore.
When I quit drinking booze, it was just like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. There was no issue. I didn't have withdrawals. It was just like, all right, fine, I stopped. But when it comes to cigarettes, man,
you know what I was told is that Asians have very low rates of addiction.
Is that true?
I don't know. I kind of feel like they're drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they do. There's a lot of drinking in Japan, definitely. And there was
but in terms of like hard drug use, it's rare.
Yeah,
for Asians,
it's hard to get it to Japan.
So I wonder if it's just like genetic predisposition. I smoked weed one time when I was a teenager. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was terrible. Opioids don't work on me. When I go to the hospital, when they give me opiates, they do nothing.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I had a kidney stone, and it was agonizing. They gave me morphine. It did nothing, and they had to give me Toradol, NSAID, and then the pain was gone. And I was like, let's go. And then I was sitting there like, hey, it worked. Yeah, the Vicodin does nothing. Oxycodone, nothing.
What were you gonna say?
Go ahead.
Oh, opioids. Well, there's a couple of things that are nuts. First, I've taken methadone because a friend of mine was a recovering heroin addict. He was like, "Want to try methadone? This is helping me kick my heroin addiction." I was like, "Okay," and I was just like slumped. And I was like, "I see where yoga comes from," because my body was so loose and rubbery. And 3 days later, I was like, "Hey, can I try that again?" He's like, "No," and saved me from an opioid addiction basically because it felt not good. It just I felt very loose. But I've noticed with drug addiction, even hard, intense addiction, if you cannot do it for a day, you can do that over and over again. And then by all of a sudden you realize you haven't had it for 6 days and you're like, okay.
I mean, anything that you're like when I quit smoking, I just stopped. We flew to Australia.
Oh, yeah, well,
last cigarette I had was before I got on the plane.
I think it's different for everybody, right?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a decision, right? And one of the things that you try and do is you're like, I'm not going to have whatever it is I'm after right now. And I'll put it off. And if you can put it off, that one craving, and then hopefully it'll go away. Obviously, things that have withdrawal and can mess you up medically is different. But if you're dealing with things that like cigarettes or maybe alcohol, if you can put it off, just say, I'm not going to have this. I'm not going to have a drink right now. I'm not going to have a cigarette right now. I'll wait. And then the next time you have a craving, you know what? I don't want to have a cigarette right now. I'll wait.
I found that I need to rely on a higher power for the urge to drink because alcoholics have an odd mental blind spot when it comes to the craving for the first drink. It's like your willpower for other things can be so incredibly strong, but when it comes to alcohol, it can be a split second, boop, driving into the liquor store. It's crazy.
So East Asians, Chinese, Koreans, and Japanese have ALDH2 variant, which alcohol causes flushing, nausea, and headache, and racing heart. They tend to have substantially less alcohol use disorder. And on top of that, large data sets do show that East Asians have extremely low rates of substance abuse disorder.
That's a protein.
Yeah,
That's
it's probably why I don't like drinking. I think alcohol tastes miserably awful, and it's unpleasant.
Man, I love it.
There's not a single.
I'm Irish.
there's not a single alcoholic drink that I think tastes pleasurable in any meaningful way.
It's a variant. I wonder if that's a mutation that got hinged into the DNA of the East Asians at some point.
Of course it is, because the Asians have it and other people don't. Or I think it's they're more likely. It's common in East Asia. Interesting. Well, I don't like drinking. I find it to be awful. But here's the best part. Asians have gambling problems.
Oh, dude.
It's true. Asians love gambling, and anybody who goes to a casino knows this. You go to MGM National Harbor, everything's China.
Bro, I saw this Asian dude. It's just anecdotal, just throwing it on the roulette table, or yeah, oh, no, it wasn't roulette. It was craps. Just launching thousands and thousands and thousands, and he was with his buddies from work, and they were like, he was teaching them how to gamble. It's like, this is crazy. Anecdotal. He looked Asian. I'm into the genetics of like why, because I wonder if there's a gene that actually disposes Asians to want to gamble. If that's like a ancient,
they love math.
Gambled survived, and those that didn't perished or something.
No, I think that. Well, maybe. I think they Asians like math. I do. And what's fun about playing, I like playing Yahtzee. There's no money in Yahtzee. Everyone's always like, you gamble. No. I like playing Yahtzee because you like seeing the rare, five of a kind come up. Yahtzee, whoa,
you know that feeling you get when that pops? That's the feeling I get when I hit the weed. It's that joyous, like fervent success for a moment.
I don't know that, Tim, have you ever experienced time dilation from getting a Yahtzee?
Time dilation?
Yeah, when you smoke weed, they
no.
time dilation.
Like
the way you perceive time is a little different. So
and then I get really mad when I'm playing Yahtzee and I just can't get anything.
Yeah,
and I'm just getting real mad. So here's something funny. If you ever play blackjack or baccarat, players will scream monkey. Have you ever seen this? So dealer's got a 6, right? Blackjack. You guys know how to play blackjack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dealer's got a 6. Let's say you got 18. Dealer puts the cards out. You got an 8. Bam, a jack. You got 18. He's got a 6, and you're like, oh man. So everybody makes, they stay, whatever. The dealer flips over the face down card. It's a queen. He's got 16. Players go, monkey, monkey. What they're calling for is a 10. They're saying bust. Monkey means 10 value card. And you want to know where the word monkey comes from?
Can we say it on YouTube?
Monarchy.
Oh, okay.
It comes from the word monarchy because Asians were playing at casinos and they'll go, monarchy, monarchy.
That's hilarious.
And other people heard monkey. Just like Godzilla's name was actually Gojira, but it sounds like an accent saying Godzilla.
I wonder
Gojira.
The Boxer Rebellion in China was because the opioid trade or the opiate trades from the British poisoning the Chinese people. I wonder if they have a cultural stigma against drugs too, which is part of why they haven't adapted extreme addictions. Because there was a severe addiction crisis at the time in the late 1800s, in the mid 1800s. I don't know.
With like opium.
Yeah, the opium trade.
I heard about that.
The British were trying to basically enslave the Chinese by poisoning their population.
I do want to stress that the monarchy monkey story is it's I don't want to call it apocryphal. It's so old no one knows for sure where it originated. Like chop suey. You know the legend of chop suey?
No, what's that?
You know what chop suey is?
No.
Like Chinese food?
Oh, okay.
You've never had chop suey before?
No, I'm not a big Chinese food person. So.
The urban legend is that a bunch of like truckers or bikers came to an old diner, a Chinese food restaurant, and the guy was like, no, we close. And they were like, oh, come on, like we're hungry. And then he said, all I have left is garbage, chop suey. And they were like, chop suey, yeah. So he scraped all the plates into a pan, refried it back up, and served it to him.
Delicious.
That's the urban legend. I don't know if it's true or not. But that's what I read that on the internet, so it must be.
It's got to be true.
Got to be true. It's got to be true. Oh man, we got big golf news breaking right now. What is this? This is from earlier. Okay, let's talk about the golf stuff. Right, I gotta pull this thing up. I thought I had the Callaway already pulled up, but let's do it, and we'll play the ad too.
The Golf Channel program.
Yeah, let me pull the news up first because I was like, we're not gonna do both. Because we have we talked about woke already, but let's do it. Let me search for the Callaway ad and show you guys. Because now, apparently, did we not play this one?
No, but I saw your video. You played it earlier.
Yeah. All right. So basically, here's the news: the golf brand Callaway had to apologize for an ad showing a woman being shoved to the ground. I just say, who cares? It was a weird ad, though. We'll play it in a second. But apparently now there's this news. Golf Channel is delaying the launch of Big Break and Good Good, which was scheduled to premiere tonight because one of the show's sponsors requested to have its branding removed in the wake of the Callaway Good Good driver ad.
No, this is so manufactured. This is...
Well, wait. Here's the ad. I mean, maybe. Look, I got to be honest. The commercial is dumb and makes no sense. You saw it, right?
Yeah.
So if you were a marketing company and you were like, we want to get a lot of attention right now. So let me just say this. I'm getting everybody in the poker world is arguing over a post that I made. We were talking about it earlier. And I've got like 2 or 3 million views now on my post. And I'm talking to a pro, and he's like, listen, like, you got to understand, like, the reason why they're talking about what you said, I basically said that I play low stakes, and in July I made $100 an hour. And what these pros are like, they think you're saying you play like 1,000 hours and you make $100 an hour every day you play, and you're playing like 9 to 5. And I was like, yeah, well, I never said that. Like, but you got to understand, like, maybe when next time you bring it up, and I immediately said, why would I stop saying the stuff that makes people talk about me?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. I'm not a pro player. I'm never going to be a pro. I'm not going to win I'm not going to ever be respected for being a poker player. I don't care. And I got them all to talk about me on all their podcasts and all their posts, and they're making memes. They're posting photos of me.
That's the real jackpot.
They're posting memes of me like winning the World Series because I won $200. Like after winning a single C-bet pot, he won the World Series. And I'm like, they all just keep posting photos of me. So maybe with this Callaway thing, they made a stupid fake ad on purpose to create controversy.
I think so. I think it's too heavy-handed. I think
Here's the ad. It's really dumb.
Do not touch my new driver.
That's it. That's it. Was there anything else?
I can't read the opening text.
It says Good Studios presents.
They should have had a dark back.
That was it. For that reason, 5 million views, all of this crazy nonsense is happening.
Because he hit a girl?
So fake. This is
thought it
so
was funny.
fake.
Right. Like I said, if you want to get attention, look, they got 5 million views on the ad now.
Yeah.
It got taken down. It's got 5 million views on this one post. Now Golf Channel's bringing it up. I never even heard of Good. Now I have. I never heard of Callaway. Now I have.
I've heard of
and
Callaway.
a lot of people are going to say, I don't care about this commercial. I'm going to go check out that driver.
I heard of Callaway Golf because the Callaway Golf Company manufactures golf balls right behind the All That Remains studio.
Oh.
Which you can be mass. Yep.
This is
Same
getting hot because the guy body checked a chick?
Yeah, it's like a golf influencer, and that the guy was like, I guess, like the co-founder, and he body checked her. I guess it's a weird commercial.
Do like funnier stuff, and then it backfired, I guess, or it didn't.
I don't think it backfired. I think this is the intended condition. You know that? Remember Gangnam Style?
Yeah.
You know that was a marketing campaign.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah,
Heard
yeah.
that, but I don't know exactly what happened.
They created the virality was not real. They propped up. So there's a variety of things you can do. I'm not going to get into the fine details of their campaigns. I don't know all the details. But one of the things that we see commonly is a song will become popular because the studio will line up 100 prominent influencers, and they'll say, we'll give each of you $10,000. We want you all on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of this month to post a video using this song and dancing to it. And then all of a sudden, all their followers are they make memes. So they'll go to an influencer and say, we want you to do it. We wrote a joke. You are going to steal cookies from your friend or boyfriend or whatever, and then you're going to run and you're going to fall down and spill the cookies. And it's going to be, and you're going to put a title that says, me when I try to steal the cookies and it blows up in my face. Then you're all going to do it, playing the song, and then all your followers will start remaking it, and all of a sudden the song gets 1 billion views, and then everyone's talking about the person. So Gangnam Style was very much something like that. So people think, they're like, oh man, this song that I heard is so great. Now, don't get me wrong, Psy's fantastic, but it was a campaign. I think it might have been Scooter Braun, I'm not sure, but they met with Psy, and they said, we are going to run a campaign to make this song #1, and we want the rights, and here's our plan, here's how we're going to do it. And he said that Psy was like, his management was, if you do this, we don't even want the money. Like, make it big. You can keep all the money you make off it. We can make money elsewhere. And they were like, no. We like, that's muddy. We don't want to get it. We're going to get you paid, but here's the game plan. And they ran a viral marketing campaign. It was not organic. People thought that it was just going viral, but in fact, it was a company making it happen.
Chase Hughes is the psychologist that talks about mammalian brain, because a lot of how we interact is the mammal aspect of us, like dogs you can do, but it's one of the 4 pillars of the mammalian hierarchy is popularity, is where you rank in the tribe. And other mammals will see how you rank in the tribe, how the others treat you, and then they'll They'll either like you or and I feel like this is what this marketing does. If you see that it's popular, part of your mammalian brain just thinks it's good because it's popular.
It's worth noting that the outrage about this, right? This is part of why the female, I guess, what's it, the hero's journey for females in modern storytelling doesn't really work. You can't do something that hurts females and have people respond positively to it. You know, you can't have a woman that starts the show and then gets beat down for the second act and then rises above. You lose the audience of that second act.
Here's my pitch. Here's my pitch for Callaway. Here's the commercial I would have done.
Okay.
The woman is with the guys and they're golfing. It's her turn to golf. She grabs her golf club. And as she's going there, the guys are all chuckling, and they're going to be like, this is going to be miserably bad. And then she goes, and she misses and spins and falls down, and they all start laughing at her. And then they go, man, women suck at golf, don't they? And then she walks over and grabs the Callaway driver, looks at him, and then just Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore's it, and they go, whoa. Eat with Callaway clubs, even women can play golf.
I don't think that would have gone over.
That would have something you would have seen in the 80s for sure.
Right. Yep.
Just hammer on the head, like so obvious. Oh, now I get super strength because I have the right tool.
No, it's just Callaway clubs are so good, even women can drive.
Okay, I wanted to point out, seeing a woman get the shit kicked out of her in a movie with Mad Max, Fury Road, the one with Charlize Theron. She was like the hero of the movie. She's getting the crap kicked out of her by Max and others. But she has like a shaved head, so it didn't really look like a woman. That's why I did, part of maybe why it did so well. It wasn't like I saw the feminine getting abused.
See,
It was
like,
very
it was
masculine.
more tolerable to watch a woman get abused because her head was shaved. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
because she was masculine. So I wanted to see that angry masculine get beat down. I was like, yeah.
I like punk rock, which means I find things funny that bother people. Like, grow up, stop getting so offended about things. When you get all mad, and I think this is true for a lot of people, especially people who vote for Trump and 4chan. When you're outraged by something that's meaningless, like the Halloween costume, I want to make fun of you for that. I don't care. So, like, when I see stuff like this, I actually think a lot of people are going to start mocking this. Maybe. They'll make their own versions where it's just they make fun of the commercial by beating women or something. You know? They're going to be like, oh, this one's not, you know, I'll make one better, you know?
When I see people get really upset about what I think is irrelevant stuff, I have like a choice to make. Do I just dig in on them and give them more of what they seem to be, of what they're afraid of, to try and snap them out of it or to ruin them? Or do I completely dismiss them? Like, do you ridicule the people that are in pain over nothing, that are freaking out about the dumbest stuff? Or do you just ignore them?
Depends how good of a person you want to be that day. I feel like, I mean, you have to have compassion for them, right?
I'm a Fight Club fan. I liked when Brad Pitt dumped the lie. What did he do? He poured lye on his hand. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And and he's like, you know, you can try and block out the pain, or you can accept it, and then you can pour water on it to make it worse, or you can use vinegar to neutralize the burn or whatever. And I don't literally think that's a good idea or anything like that. I'm just saying the idea of it was when you've experienced very serious pain, these things roll off your back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very much, you know, you'll play guitar, right? When you start playing guitar for the first time, your fingers, they hurt. And then after like, you know, a year, nothing will ever hurt your fingers again. The skin's just dead. And it's funny because I'll even explain it like, you probably can't even tell my fingers are super calloused. But they're so deeply calloused over a long period of time. They're just permanently armored for playing the guitar. To be fair, like if I played guitar for like 4 hours straight, I'd probably bleed. But just in general, I just, you know, first started playing guitar, it hurts. You're pressing your fingers against the strings. And that's an analogy for just life in general. Most of these woke people are soft, frail, squishy.
The kind that wear gloves to the gym.
I like the archetype of the warrior poet because of that. Like, they go to combat, they see horror, they lose people in the most vicious way, they kill, and then they come back and they're so calloused, but still they feel like somehow you can use the callous to your advantage as a protective buffer against nonsense, but also you can see what really matters.
It's a question of, does it matter? And most of these things just literally don't. They don't matter. So for example, did you guys hear the story about the guy who allegedly dumped his fiance because she supported Lindsay Clancy? And there's a fact check, and it's like, fact check, false. In fact, you can't disprove it because it's an anecdote from a random guy on the internet who said, my best friend just did this. And I'm like, you didn't fact check it. They responded with, we found no clear evidence the story was true, therefore it's false. And I'm like, that's not correct. But here's the important thing. I will absolutely, and I have no problem to say, yes, a man dumped his fiance 2 weeks after their wedding because he found out she supported Lindsay Clancy. And I can argue for a couple of reasons. People fight all the time. People break up all the time. And people break up for stupider reasons than that.
Oh, for sure.
Like, dude didn't flush the toilet, and it's like the 17th time, and she's finally like, is this how it's going to be? I don't want to do this. And then it escalates, and then everything spills out, and then it's like, well, you leave the windows open, and we got bugs. And then, you know what? I'm done. It's off. If you came out and were like, I know a guy who ditched his fiance because she didn't flush the toilet. It's not just the one thing that caused it. But here's the ultimate reason why I don't care about a fact check. This story doesn't move the needle. It's not going to get someone elected. It's not going to create policy. It doesn't matter. I'm not mad. I don't care. That's an interesting story. And I'm seeing people respond to this post. They're like, prove it. I'm like, who cares?
Are people really getting at you for that? Because
No, I didn't say it.
Oh, okay.
The guy who posted it, people are commenting, prove it.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there being like, why?
Yeah.
Bro, if I made a video and said, my friend just did a sick backflip, and they're like, prove it, I'd be like, no.
I can guarantee as a woman that, I mean, the Lindsay Clancy case is causing a lot of fights right now. If there's this
women are nuts.
If there's this many women who are dying on the hill that this woman is somehow a victim, any reasonable man is gonna, especially one that might have children with her, is gonna go,
No, she's a victim. I think she's a victim.
Of psychiatry?
Of big pharma. I just think she's guilty of murdering her kids. And
Yeah, no, I think the
That's a different
system
thing.
failed her and the system failed the children, obviously, but I think she's guilty of murder.
Well, I don't think it failed her. I think it afflicted her. I think the pharmaceutical companies are running commercials and telling doctors to push psychoactive drugs on women, largely women, and they drug them from teenagers. And that's fair, and I respect that argument. And she deserves to go to prison or worse for what she did to those poor children. If you take a bunch of crazy ass pills and then get in a car and run over a kid, you should go to prison. Yes, but it's not her fault. She was on crazy brain drugs.
Yeah.
I don't care. She drove a car inhibited. Here's my argument. If you drive a car and run over a kid, we call that murder, vehicular homicide, whatever. If you do it on drugs, it's an aggravated charge because you're also under the influence. You get additional charges. So my argument for Lindsay Clancy is, if these ladies are right, she was a victim of big pharma. She was on all these crazy drugs. They should increase the charges. It should be a more severe penalty to commit a crime while under the influence. That being said, I don't want to wash away the fact that the pharmaceutical companies in this country are evil and pump people full of drugs and are burning our civilization to the ground to turn a profit.
Yeah, and psychiatry is such a mystery too, with the way that drugs interact with one another, and the fact that she was in an inpatient. She wasn't even diagnosed with postpartum psychosis. She was diagnosed with postpartum major depressive episode. But she needed to be monitored over a long period of time. You can't just go and say, oh yeah, I'm not suicidal and I'm not homicidal and be let out. That's absolutely wild.
Apparently the ad is much longer than that.
Oh. Do share
And
with us.
Interesting. Okay, wait, well, let me play the full ad. Libby just texted me. She's like, no, the full ad's longer.
Based.
Well, I can't wait to see.
Her hair looks crazed, by the way, and a fireball, dude. That is hot.
Oh, thanks.
Like Sonic,
Like a fireball.
Yeah, literally.
Take it.
A licking flame.
It's not even popping up. This is so ridiculous.
Yeah. So is this girl like the female version of Luigi Mangione? Like she was a victim.
No.
I have empathy. It sounds like there's something related to the true crime.
I don't know. My neighbor has been storing stuff in her garage, and she came over and I asked her about, or she asked me about this, and she like is on the whole Patrick did it side. And I was like, what?
No, that's
how can you say that? And
Yeah,
I was just genuinely interested because her defense literally admitted that she, did it.
The key factor in the Luigi Mangione fan stuff is thirst. Women are
like
thirsting.
sexual?
Yeah, they're thirsting after him.
Yeah.
And obviously there's the political aspect that people are like, oh, I agree with his politics. The key factor in the Lindsay Clancy stuff is lunacy. Because the
Okay,
women
here's
are
the
supporting
full
her
ad.
lunatics.
Here's the full ad.
He driv. That's what I saw there.
Do not touch my new driver.
I don't get the big deal. It says a driver.
Johnny, no. No.
Johnny, no, don't do it.
John.
No.
Don't do it.
No, no,
Please,
no,
John.
don't. Are you okay?
It's over. He's gone.
What's happening?
That's the stupidest commercial I've ever seen in my life.
I understand why they cut it.
I don't understand. Yeah.
They deleted it not because it was offensive, because they were embarrassed.
And then at the end, all of them looked confused, and they were obviously mocking. That's what they call it. If you pretend to seem a certain way, like, I'm so angry, can you tell? Like, they just needed one guy that looked confused, and everyone else just.
Is that a real ad or was that somebody just?
This
with
is
their
staged.
iPhone?
It's got to be a
this
campaign.
This is a campaign.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna Ian. We're gonna have you eat beef to offend vegans, and then I'm gonna apologize for it. And then
empirically, I'll just have like have it
like,
dripping down my face.
No, you're just gonna have
It's
a hot
the
dog.
amino acids,
You're gonna
Tim.
you're gonna eat a hot
That's
dog on
what I
camera.
crave. What's that?
I said you're gonna eat a hot dog on camera.
It better be healthy.
And then I'll be like, oh, we
why-
took it down because it was a.
Not these days.
We took it. No, he'll actually we'll make a hot dog out of lentils to offend cattle ranchers.
Yeah, spirulina. I'm getting my full 20 aminos in this protein.
This is stupid.
Yeah, it's really, really dumb. I mean, it was a bad, dumb ad, anyways. And that
If they
doesn't.
would have just cut it where they seemingly did, it would have been better.
It would have been funnier. Like, I'm sorry, for something like this to be good, it's got to be more extreme.
Yeah.
Like, here's my vision for how you make this work. So the woman goes to grab the thing, and then the guy screams at the top of his, "Ah!" and then he shoves her into a meat grinder. And then he grabs it and he goes, "No one touch it." And then the other guy goes, "This is ridiculous. What?" And then he grabs it and he goes, "Ah!" And he starts just whacking people with it, just
Yeah, I
beating them
thought
to
he was
death.
going to bludgeon her.
Then you'd be like, "Oh, now I get it."
I thought she's like, "Don't touch my driver," and he goes and grabs it, and then he's getting ready, and she becomes a zombie that attacks him and kills him, and she's like, and it's like, Callaway drivers for
start
everyone.
beating her with the driver. I was a little.
I think
concerned.
I think my commercial was better because it's like you're trying to advertise a driver. You
It's
know,
just so
like
ridiculous.
Callaway drivers are so good, even women can play. You know,
It's good. Only if it was like old timey.
but like I agree, and the reason why that would actually work and they wouldn't take it down is because the sexism is the butt of the joke. The joke.
It's one of my favorite shirts. Okay, question. Boycott China. I always feel like I'm on vacation when you are here. Okay, if I give you guys the feeling of sending you on vacation, then I obviously am doing something right. So even if I'm tired, it's worth it. Thank you. Well, thank you for the comment. Question: why such commemoration for Jiang Zemin? Doesn't he still have supporters in the party? Good question. It was not because Jiang Zemin was popular. It's not because Xi Jinping likes him. Actually, there are not a lot of people who like Jiang Zemin in China because he's notoriously corrupt and famously incapable of doing anything right. Anyways, but the reason Xi Jinping gave him such a high such a high command for his 100th birthday is because politically Xi Jinping needs the old Jiang Zemin network for support, and it's a political need. Even though the old Jiang Zemin network was Xi Jinping's biggest political enemy for the first 10 years of his rule, so after fighting them tooth and nail, what's that description? After them bitterly for 10 years, they're now, Xi Jinping is trying to align with his biggest political enemy. That's the reason. I cover that in one of my previous live streams, maybe before my vacation. All right, someone says sounds good. No sound. You're back. Okay, audio is back. Good. All right, let's see. Having a stroke is a side effect of smoking. Lei got cut off for a few seconds. Okay. Carney, there's so much going on between US and Canada. There's also a robot sports games in China. Yeah, and it's interesting. Okay, YouTube has been going hard on all independent media channels. They're courting the mainstream because they want the ad revenue from the ad buyers that buy on CNN or Fox. Wow. But if people are not watching them, where are they going to get their ad money worth? They're not going to get any return on their advertisement if people are not watching the mainstream media channels. Lei sells a pretty nice coffee mug. Yes, it's on my website. It's on laysrealtalk.com. Okay. All right, here we say mint creative gift and gifts and ideas. Sorry, Lei, will you be doing a content on how CCP influenced Southeast Asia countries like Singapore and Malaysia being at Malacca Straits be the threat of all? The Southeast Asia is the backyard. I think the CCP has the most influence there. Yeah, if you're worried about CCP's influence in Canada, Australia, in London, in Europe, you should be 5 times more concerned with Southeast Asia because it's right in the backyard. It's their backyard. So that's why I haven't really been focusing on those countries because it's known, right? And my audience is in English-speaking countries. So that's what I tend to focus on, Western countries. All right. I would love to learn more about China before communism. Then you should watch my program. There's a playlist. I forgot what it's called. I made a couple of programs about US-China relations before the CCP came. And you'll be impressed by how China built, in the 1940s, China built a warship for the US Navy. Yeah. And I did that in a program. It didn't get a lot of views, but it was very good that I did it. All right, let's see. CCP is everywhere. No. Well, it's not because CCP is everywhere. CCP has effectively controlled its people, and because Chinese people are everywhere, and CCP controls them everywhere they go, then that makes you feel like CCP is everywhere. So if we could somehow cut the ties between the CCP and its people, then we will be that influence will be severely decimated, right? So that's what I think banning WeChat in your country is important, because how does the CCP control Chinese nationals when they live outside the country through WeChat? Yeah, I think WeChat ought to be banned. All right. Morning watching from Malaysia. Yeah. Didn't the prime minister or the president of Malaysia made a comment today or yesterday about that Taiwan is another province of China? It's very sad. I think Taiwan's government protested. I don't know why he made that comment. All right, that's all for tonight. I thank you for joining. I'll be back on Thursday with more information about China. All right, I'll see you then. Bye.
new cells. Raises a medically or biologically significant development with implications for patient safety, public health, treatment, or research. Okay, well, let us know when you've done some and you have some results. Dem Rep. Scholten shreds Hassan Piker for targeting Jewish lawmaker. Surfaces an undercovered or consequential development worth additional review because of its potential policy, scientific security, or cultural significance. Okay. Targeting Jewish lawmaker. Feds announce $103,265 fee for each new H-1B visa. Flock Safety CEO Garrett Langley calls for compromise between safety and privacy. How about this? Garrett, get lost. He looks like Tallarico's little brother. Little punky-looking kid. Smart guy, but freak. Flock Safety CEO Garrett Langley pushed back against critics of his company's AI-powered surveillance cameras in a recent interview on Fox News, arguing that privacy and safety concerns must be weighed together than against each other. Yeah, Flock, which makes the automated license plate readers, surveillance cameras, and drones used by police departments across the country, has drawn criticism from multiple directions in recent months. Breitbart News recently reported that the Have I Been Flocked website has been launched to allow citizens to check if they've been targeted by police searches due to concerns about inappropriate uses of the AI-powered technology. Quote, this is Langley. When people talk about just one of these, privacy or safety, they're prioritizing the wrong thing, and what we have to prioritize as a country is compromise. How do we have our safety, and how do we balance privacy? Well, you take the cameras away for the privacy, and every citizen should be armed. With something. Always. It's just the way it is. The world is full of people who will try to rob, rape, steal, or kill you. They're not all over the place. I mean, they are, but it's not like you go to a football game and 75% of them are have murderous intent while they sit there. That comes later when their team loses, but I digress. So anyway, when people talk about just one of these, privacy or safety, they're prioritizing the wrong thing. Yeah, okay. Well, on Capitol Hill, 3 House Republicans recently introduced a bill that would bar the federal government from purchasing automated surveillance systems that rely on facial recognition or biometric identification or license plate recognition. The bill specifically calls out Flock referencing systems, including Flock safety cameras. Facing that pressure, Flock has announced several changes to how its technology handles data. The company cut its default data retention period from 30 days to 7, and it now requires officers to enter a case code before accessing stored data. Both changes, however, can be overridden through a setting called evidence mode, which allows longer-term data storage. We need to do just what we have been doing, which is get rid of them. If this kid wants to make money, let him go make it somewhere else. And frankly, somewhere else would be all right, too. Footage from the Red Sea shows octopuses hunting side by side with fish, and when a fish partner hangs back, instead of flushing prey out on cue, the octopus has been video recorded punching it with an extended arm, sometimes for no food reward at all. Get on the job or I'll smack you again. Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Octopus. Get back to work. Wow. Former CDC scientist whose studies were used to debunk vaccine autism link will plead guilty. What? This is from Children's Health Defense. What a scam, folks. Absolutely abominable. You know, when I do this little video recording here, I like for it to be a little bit snarky, maybe a little bit humorous here and there, but certainly chock full, as the saying used to go, of information that might be useful to you. And I'll tell you what, we knew it was a scam. Many people knew it was a scam, and some people who knew it was a scam went ahead and did it anyway. Did what? took the vaccine. And some of them are still paying for that decision. So Paul Thorson, 65, is finalizing a plea deal with prosecutors relating to charges stemming from a 2011 federal indictment charging him with wire fraud and money laundering. Thorson's research was used to dismiss over 5,000 claims filed by the parents of children with autism who were injured by vaccines. An assistant U.S. District Attorney confirmed that prosecutors are working with Thorson on a plea deal, but declined to comment for the defender on details of the deal. Thorson has been held in federal custody without bail since his extradition from Germany to the U.S. in May. In other words, it sounds like he ran. Maybe not, but it sounds like it. The case is being heard at a federal court in Georgia where the CDC is headquartered. Researcher James Grundvig, the parent of a child with autism who was vaccine injured, called the expected guilty plea a very big deal. Grundvig, who wrote Master Manipulator, the explosive true story of fraud, embezzlement, and government betrayal of the CDC, which focused on the Thorson case, praised U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for extraditing Thorson in record speed. He said Thorson likely understands that the FBI and the U.S. Department of Justice have all the goods to prosecute him. Quote, I guess Thorson's realizing since he's in American jail already and has no chance for bail, he might as well make a plea deal. Dr. Dave Weldon, a physician and Republican member of the U.S. House of Representatives between 1994 and 2009, and who President Donald Trump nominated to lead the CDC in late 2024 before retracting his nomination in March 2025, welcomed the plea agreement but said it isn't enough. Weldon said it would be a miscarriage of justice if a plea deal failed to include a thorough investigation of allegations of scientific fraud. An obvious question is whether he also has been cheating with data to achieve the results he sought. That we don't know. A good rule in gold standard science is replication, and it would be wise for so many reasons to replicate his work, independently of the institutions Thorson had been affiliated with. I think that's going to be the second part of the story, Grundvig said. It could be an avalanche of bad news for both pharma and the CDC. Well, they certainly deserve it, both of them. They knew what they were doing, and they did it anyway. Case closed. I mean, can there be any doubt of this? Okay, let's see what else. Iranian state TV targets Barron Trump in a disturbing $10 million bounty video. Meta says its AI model hacked another company, adding to worries about bots going rogue. New technology may bring closure to more families as 9/11's 25th anniversary nears. And open your door. We are death. That's in quotes. Palestinian Authority schools glorify October 7 in disturbing new footage as West Bank government angles for power in Gaza. Operation Economic Outcast, total isolation of the Iranian regime. And, according to a report, 200,000 asylum filers set to lose tourist visas in record purge. Say that 10 times. 200,000 asylum filers set to lose tourist visas in record purge. State lawmakers urge President Trump to appoint a new census director. President Trump and McMahon host White House back-to-school event and tout education reforms. President Trump wants a quantum revolution. U.S. scientists just took a 13-mile leap. And 2 paralyzed after hospital injected patients with the same drug used in executions. A U.S. Air Force C-17, that's a big old cargo thing, makes a mysterious visit to Moscow. What could this portend? I don't know. This is from Zero Hedge, written by Tyler Durden. CIA Director John Ratcliffe was on board the U.S. Air Force C-17A Globemaster III that landed early Tuesday at Moscow's Vnukovo Airport in order to attend several high-level meetings with Russian officials, according to CBS News. CBS News senior White House correspondent Jennifer Jacobs has provided some clarity on the mysterious U.S. Air Force C-17 Globemaster III military transport aircraft that flew to Moscow earlier today. Jacobs said, Scoop. CIA Director John Ratcliffe traveled to Russia aboard a C-17 for meetings in Moscow today. Okay, we get it. And then what? C-17 arrived from Riga, Latvia, where it landed on Sunday, according to Flight Radar 24 data. Flight data shows the military transport plane was recently at Camp Springs, Maryland, home to Joint Base Andrews, which supports presidential and senior U.S. government travel. Okay, I got to go. We got to go to air, and we got to do it now. So thank you very much for being with us. More to cover, more to talk about, more to learn. Always, every day, it's a new day. And with every new day, there's a new opportunity to learn something hopefully valuable. So thank you for being with us tonight. Stand by.
Yes.
The lead Supreme Army sends its regards.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Enforcer, and I'm accompanied by Enforcer Matt.
And good evening, folks. This is Enforcer Matt, and welcome back to day 1644 of the War News stream. And tonight we have extremely big news, and it could be the most consequential news of the year that's going down in the last 24 hours. Right now, we're hearing that U.S. officials are warning Putin against an imminent NATO attack, and today, the CIA director even traveled all the way to Moscow to deliver a mysterious message, and that's got people on edge, to say the least. Also, Moscow was under a huge attack by drones about 2 hours ago, and also a brand new attack may be underway right now, and also major explosions have erupted at Crimean military ports, amongst many other warehouses in mainland Russia, and we have a ton of news tonight, and it's good to see you all once again.
And of course, we're going to be covering the past 48 hours in the news from around the world, as we have been able to hear significant news, particularly from Eastern Europe today and inside the Russian Federation, but also from the Middle East as well, and also East Asia. As over the course of the past 24 hours, the United States CIA Director Ratcliffe has flown on a C-17 with an entourage from the Central Intelligence Agency to Moscow to deliver a message to the Russian government. It is unknown at this moment whether he met directly with Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, but it is understood that he did speak to top-level Russian officials, either of the Ministry of Defense or of the Ministry of the Interior or of the Russian Central Committee as well, or directly to Vladimir Putin. From what we understand, a warning was given by the United States of America, according to intelligence that may have been gathered by reconnaissance aircraft that were flying around the area of the Kaliningrad Oblast, a part of the Leningrad Military District, showing that the Russian Federation appears to be preparing for some form of escalatory action against NATO. And we believe that the director most likely warned the Russian Federation that further escalations or provocations against NATO will not be met kindly, or that there may be sterner responses made by NATO allies, possibly including the United States, within the immediate future. Whatever was transpiring in this meeting, it only lasted a couple of minutes before the delegation then left Moscow and flew directly back out of Moscow and right back into NATO. We have been able to see that afterwards, the president of the Russian Federation has issued 3 secretive presidential decrees, which were signed and ordered by the President Vladimir Putin quite literally within just the next 2 hours after the meeting ended. It is unknown what is inside of these presidential decrees, but the decision-making moment and signing of them at the very moment, just hours after the meeting, is suggesting that he most likely have some sort of direct correlation to the situation pertaining to the CIA director's meeting. Not long afterwards, we were able to hear that public statements were made once again by the Russian Federation's government that they are still moving towards preparations for full mobilization and a transition to a wartime economy in the Russian Federation, and we're already hearing that some form of mobilization is now underway in at least 17 oblasts of the over 100 oblasts within the Russian Federation. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian armed forces have continued their attacks against the Russians in strong form over the day, with another several hundred drone attack vector being seen heading towards the Moscow area at this time as we're on air. We've also seen that oil refineries have been hit once again throughout the entirety of the Russian Federation, including the refinery at Fauci and also the one at Kostovo, and we've also been able to confirm that a Wildberries facility inside of Tambov has also been hit again and heavily damaged. It appears that some form of sabotage of a major variety has occurred within the Amur region, as a major chemical plant, the largest one in the Russian Federation, has suffered a violent and spontaneous explosion over this day, which appears to have destroyed most of the critical manufacturing processes at the plant. We have also been able to hear as well, outside of this news, that the Russian fuel shortage has continued, and NATO countries are still preparing at this moment for possible provocations by the Russian Federation. Lithuania has now deployed NASAM air defense missile systems around their capital of Vilnius, and we have also seen that the Royal Air Force has conducted an RC-135 Rivet joint flight of their own along the southern Kaliningrad border. We have also seen that the United States delegation and officials also made a visit to NATO headquarters in Brussels, Belgium today to apparently be able to prepare further defenses and also defensive frameworks in the event of a possible provocation by the Russian Federation, which is expected by this fall. Investigators also found another drone laden with Semtex explosives near to the Leipzig International Airport, which was only discovered just today, and we have seen that the Romanians have once again put out another RO alert due to another threat of a Russian drone possibly making an incursion into NATO airspace and Romanian airspace as a result. The Romanian Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Defense has called that the Romanians cannot become numb to these sorts of situations and cannot allow for Russian airspace violations to continue, and must make some form of concerted or forward proactive actions to be able to stop these sorts of incursions from continuing to threaten the safety and the health of Romanian citizenry and NATO at large. A border crossing was also attacked today by the Russian Federation Armed Forces directly along the Moldovan-Ukrainian border on the Ukrainian side, causing significant damage and destruction to one of those facilities. We have also seen that the Ukrainian Armed Forces have inflicted significant losses onto the Russian Federation today and have stopped generally all advances over the front line over the course of the past 48 hours. We have also seen that within the Middle East, the United States of America is continuing its blockade line of the Gulf of Oman, which is finally resulting in some form of damage to the Iranian economy, as fuel shortages are now being seen in video and picture evidence in several major Iranian cities, including Tehran, Mashhad, and Tabriz, just to name a few. We have also heard that the United States Central Intelligence Agency and military intelligence may have possibly uncovered another storage site, once again in the Natanz nuclear uranium enrichment plant, that may be housing some form of enriched uranium, possibly weapons-grade uranium, at this point right now. We have also been able to see that the Islamic Republic of Iran has continued to its stance on the Strait of Hormuz, stating that they will not be allowing vessels to pass through with the economic sanctions that have been put in place. However, Russian media, for however credible they may be, has stated that the Strait of Hormuz has magically been reopened, and the President of the United States has claimed that all of the mines in the minefield in the middle of the Strait of Hormuz have also been completely demined as well, although, unfortunately, we don't really have any evidence to be able to show of that. We've also been able to hear that within the northern Red Sea, a UK MTO report came out today, and the Israelis have continued their bombardments inside of southern Lebanon near the Al-Tahrir Heights. We have also gotten news out of South Korea that the United States of America is continuing to degrade and mitigate its presence in the U.S. 8th Army inside of South Korea and the involvement in joint military exercises and war games conducted in conjunction with the Republic of Korea's armed forces in South Korea. We have quite a lot of news to cover over the course of this day, and we are going to be making sure to cover each and every single bit of it, starting with our largest stories first, and then moving our way on down into the smaller stories throughout the night over the course of these past 48 hours. And I'm going to tell you, folks, that today we have a humongous amount of news, and somewhat serious news, to say the least. So we're going to be making sure to get into that, starting at the very beginning of our news show. So moving us on and immediately into our largest story of the day, we were able to confirm that the CIA's Director Ratcliffe, has made a flight along with his envoy from Riga, Latvia into Moscow in the Russian Federation. The C-17 was reported to have made the flight rapidly from Riga, Latvia into Moscow on a largely direct flight path to the Vyknovo International Airport, landing at the airport, which we were actually able to see on clip from a Russian citizen that filmed the landing near Vyknovo, if I can pronounce that correctly, right here. This actually shows the C-17 on its...
I don't think we can show that whole video, by the way.
Well, to show just a brief part of it, we can actually see the C-17 with its gear deployed and its flaps extended here on final approach at the runway at the Vyknovo International Airport. Not long after landing, the delegation then made it directly from the Vyknovo International Airport down Highway E-101 into the central area of Moscow, heading straight to the Kremlin, and then conducting a meeting with the Russian Federation's government at that time. We were able to see that at this moment, there was information showing that the CIA director, according to the Wall Street Journal, arrived in Moscow after the U.S. gathered intelligence indicating mobilization preparations and plans to test NATO's resolve. Former Deputy Director of the U.S. National Intelligence, Beth Sonner, told the publication that Ratcliffe may have met with Putin directly to deliver a warning along the lines of, "We know what you're going to do, and you better not do it," largely indicating that the United States of America may be involved in hostilities against the Russian Federation if they conduct a military action against the NATO alliance. We have also been able to hear that right after this meeting, the delegation then left, only minutes after arriving at the Kremlin, drove back down the E-101 highway, boarded the C-17 at Vyknovo, and then departed instantly, heading right back to Riga, which once again we were able to see on this flight radar information here via ADS-B transponder, showing that the C-17 did immediately depart and returned right back to Riga, where the entire venture had started for the CIA director. Only the next 2 hours later, we had already heard that the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, had signed 3 secret presidential decrees after a visit of the CIA director. These are publicly listed, and while the secret decrees are publicly listed as decrees that have been signed, the actual details in which the decrees were made on are not shown. And you can actually see right here that there were about 6 presidential decrees that were signed today by President Putin, and numbers 605 to 607 are missing from the register, which is openly showing that the decrees were signed by the President of the Russian Federation because they are written and signed in sequential order. They never skip numbers in this process. At the start of the year, I believe they start with decree number 1 every single year, and then they move their way on up into the hundreds like we're seeing right now, meaning that somewhere in the process today, 3 presidential decrees were signed that are not publicly shown what they are or what in the hell they're about, and they were not really shown on any public record, rather than the fact that they are missing between number 604 and 608 signed today.
And also, it's really interesting, too, that these 3 secret orders that Putin issued today, it happened literally right as Ratcliffe left Russia. Right as he flew out, these orders got issued. So whatever was stated or said between those two, or if they even directly met, it could have been Ratcliffe meeting some top of Russian officials, possibly. Whatever was said, I believe, prompted those 3 secret orders to go out. So it's very interesting. We don't even have a clue what they are. Like, we don't even have an idea of what those orders could be. But secret orders like that are a little unusual, to say the least. I can't remember the last time I've ever seen something like that.
We haven't seen it a lot. Even in the war in Ukraine, we have not seen a lot of secret presidential decrees of the Russian Federation anytime recently, at least. I don't think we've seen one over the course of at least the past year in my memory. So this is something that is exceptionally rare. And the fact that there were 3 of them signed in sequence, number 605, 6, and 7, that is quite concerning and showing that whatever was done may have been in direct involvement with the meeting that was just held with the CIA director. Now, I see some people in the chat asking, well, why in the world would the CIA director fly all the way to Moscow and have an in-person meeting with the Russian government, possibly Putin, for really no reason, considering that the meeting only lasted for minutes and then they flew right back out? Why not do that via Zoom? Well, the reason is that an in-person meeting usually has a lot more gravity to it,